What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of their women.
None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
All right. So what is it? Is it Sunday night? Must be Sunday night. I'm going live. All right. That means it's the Sunday Night Radio Baloney Live. I am your host, Richie Baloney. How's everybody doing? Looks like we got Turtles in there, Chef Rico, Spambot. How you guys doing? All right. As everybody knows, we're streaming on Rumble, YouTube, X, and Locals right now. And when it comes to the likes, people liking the stream, they get free good karma. But guess what? Guess what? You'll never believe this. If you get the first like on any of those platforms, on that platform, you don't only get the normal amount of karma, you get multiples of it for the first one. That could be double, that could be triple, it could be quadruple, it could be quintuple. As soon as I learn what the word is for 6 times, it'll be that. What is it tonight? I don't know. Let's make it a triple good karma tonight. Let's see. So who got the first? Nobody's telling me. Oh, wait a second. First like on YouTube for Turtles. So, and 3 likes total. So that's 3, 4, 5. 5 good karmas for Turtles. What are you going to do with all that good karma? I have no idea. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's almost too much, I would say. No, it's just the right amount. All right. Anyway, how you doing, Turtles? Trying out Locals. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. Turtles shared on X, trying to spread the word. Well, thank you very much. That's very helpful. I have the most supportive community here. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Also, send me money. Just kidding. Just kidding. I know everybody's broke. All right. But like the stream, everybody. Like the stream and subscribe to the channel. Become a channel member. It's really wonderful. Let's see. Spambot, how you doing? He's saying, what a day. What a day. It wasn't another one of those 16, 17 hours, was it? Good Lord. Let's see. What else? Turtles just got done swimming and feeling good. All right. Very nice. I'm glad to hear that. I had a nap today. Spambot says, I got the 4th like. 4th like then. Let's see. So let's see. It was triple and then see. Let me demo. I think we'll make it 1.5 good karmas for the 4th like of the day. Congratulations, Spambot. You can sleep soundly now, knowing you got that extra good karma in your pocket. Let's see. Spambot saying, holy glitches and delays, Batman. Rumble is in bad shape tonight. Is it really? Everything seems to be working fine on this side, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe just try restarting the stream. Keeps pausing. Everything seems to be working here. Let me check out my feed here. All right, hold on. I'm just checking my feed, seeing if there's pausing. Anything going on? Oh, hold on. Hold on 1 second. What is going on here? Oh, there's something weird going on. Oh, wait a second. Actually, there does seem to be something strange happening. Oh, there we go. Okay. So, no, it looks all right. I mean, as far as I can tell, maybe it's just you just need to restart the stream. Rosie, how you doing? Number 4 here. You got the 4th? Well, I thought Spambot got the 4th. Maybe you got the 3rd. If you got the 3rd, then that's 1.75 good karmas for you. Chef Rigo saying it's okay in Cali. Yeah, you probably just need to start. It's maybe your local intranet. Let's see. And Rosie had to eat pizza and root beer. Well, that sounds like a nice dinner. Maybe I'll get some pizza afterwards. Should I do that? I don't know. Maybe I'm already too fat. That's the problem. All right. So let's get to the menu first off. We'll go through everything we're going to talk about quickly. Then we're going to get back to the chat, back to the beautiful, beautiful chat, the best chat. And then we will come back and go through the stories in detail. First off, we're going to talk. It's the Woke Mind Virus tab. And guess who? That's Jim Acosta. And there's Rosie. And she's crazy. It can't be fun to just be so like, wasn't she supposed to be a comedian at some point? Like, she's not even able to make jokes anymore, right? Like, it's just got to be off. This is what the mind virus does to you. Look at her mouth, like it just straight down on both sides. I mean, that's a sign, right? That's resting lunatic face. Is that resting commie face? Is that resting lesbian commie face? I think it is. Anyway, we'll get to these couple of dingbats. Then we're going to go to U.S. crime. We're going to talk about the horrible murder that happened in North Carolina? Charlotte, North Carolina. It's just awful. We'll talk about the media response to this, which tells you everything you need to know about the media. We're going to go to the EU. It's not looking good for women in Paris. They're not very happy. That's apparently Paris. I thought it was Toronto, but apparently it's Paris. I don't know. This is just every Western city now, apparently. Let's see. DC Stephen Miller, who has just proven himself to be a badass, has he not? He's talking about the faking of the crime stats by the police in DC. We are going to take a little bit of a look at that. I actually reported on it, I think, about a month ago. And yeah, it's real. We are going to talk about the NDP. If you're not from Canada, the NDP is just they are nothing but a gender and race communist party. They used to be like a union party. Now they're just race communist party, race gender communist party. And they have a new absurd rule for their new leader candidate selection process. We will get into that. I'm guessing that their new leader will end up being a tree with a face painted on it. We've got memes. We've got memes, people. I know you guys love this part. What I'm doing now is I am clipping I am clipping the meme section of the streams, if there's enough memes, and I'm turning that into a meme review video. You can watch that on Rumble. You can watch it on the new channel, Radio Baloney News, the new YouTube channel. I'll be putting these onto that one, not onto the main channel anymore. We'll get into the second channel in a minute. All right. Canada polls, we'll get into that. How are things looking politically? It looks like the honeymoon's over for the Liberals. Not that that really means a lot. We're going to go to the UK because we're just doing that every stream now because there's so much going on there. And there does seem to be a movement afoot in the UK. So we're going to keep talking about that. We've got the self-proclaimed globalist technocrat central banker Mark Carney, who's never had a bad word to say about Karl Marx. Karl Marx. We'll talk about him. We're going to talk about, so he's got a plan, I believe, to bring back the appalling dystopian Online Harms Act, Bill C-63. It failed before when Justin Trudeau prorogued Parliament. All the legislation had to just go. It had to be scrapped because that's the rules. Mark Carney wants to bring this back badly. The central planner Mark Carney, the globalist Mark Carney, badly wants to censor everybody in Canada because that's what they do. He's a bureaucrat at heart. He's a globalist bureaucrat at heart. We're going to go to Pierre Poilievre, who is fighting the good fight against the globo-commies. Should we call them globo-commies? I think we should. What did we ever settle, by the way, on a name for? Did we ever settle on a name for the Carney? Because the Trudeau supporters were Trutards, right? Trutards, which was a great one. We all loved that very much. You guys would say it all the time. I also miss saying Trugina, because that Trudeau was a Trugina. They say that he's a man, but he's at least half vagina. A man vagina. Trugina. But we don't really have the same thing. I mean, Justin Trudeau was such a fop, such a pajama boy, and sure, we have a bit of fun. We see him with Katy Perry, and, obviously he's her new hairstylist or backup dancer or something. But Mark Carney is not quite as flamboyant. He's not flamboyant at all. He's just like a really boring Mr. Burns. So what? I mean, I call him, he's a smart tard. So he's supposed to be smart, but he's a tard. But what do we call the supporters? Do we call them tartards or carntards? I don't know. We still haven't worked it out yet. What do we call the supporters? I mean, true tards was perfect. I mean, it just rolls off the tongue. A true tard. A true tard. That
Small fringe minority.
The true tards. It just worked out so well, and just like with this.
I have a slight learning disability.
You'd have to be a real true tard to support that guy. What is it going to be? El Bozos. El Bozos from Trudeau Survivor. I like that. Let's write it down. That's not bad. That's pretty good, actually. El Bozos. Okay, what else have we got? Spambot says simply his supporters are idiots. How about Carneyuts or Idicar? I don't know. His name is a little tougher. Non-thinking NPCs. Well, this is all true, but we need a nice nickname for him that's just going to roll off the tongue. These are all true. I mean, this is all true. Robotard. Robotard. Yeah, I like it, but it's got to be, we need something that rivals Trutard. Because it was perfect, because it's like they're truly tards, but Trudeau, true tards. It was really perfect. We don't have anything else. I like Smart Tard, but that's for Carnage, Mark's Carnage himself. Spambot says Marxist Carnage Carnival Clown. It's all true, but what I'm looking for is something that'll just roll off the tongue. Like Carntard, I'm not wild about it. Carntard, Carntard Chef Rico says, well, I'm not wild about it, though, is the thing. I'm not wild about it. How about Mark's Commie? Should we do Mark's Commie? I think one of you guys that did that, actually. Let's see. Mark's Commie. Again, he's a man who's never had a bad word to say about Karl Marx. He talked about Karl Marx a couple of times in his book, and he didn't say anything bad. He had his chance right there. He could have proven to us, or at least lied. I don't know. He didn't know. Spambot says, well, this is an interesting one. Fucking assholes. Now let's shorten it a little bit. Get Carney in there somehow. Marktards? Should we say Marktards? I'm going to write it down. All right. Spambot says brain dead zombies. Let's see. Zombies. We do talk about the woke zombies. So what if we incorporate the word zombie in there? So Mark Carney zombies. Zardies? Carnbees? No, I don't think it's going to work. Carntard. Yeah, I mean, Carnatard. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's there. We can use it. But I want something that really just pops out. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. Izzy, how you doing? All right. And how you doing, Chef Rico? All right. Did I already say hi to Chef Rico earlier? I can't remember. I think I did. All right. Let's let's move on. So Pierre Poilievre fight the good fight. We're going to talk about that. Let's get to the last tab of the evening. This will be the last one we do. We're probably not going to go that long tonight, actually. But for various reasons. But in any case, what do we got? We got dog stuff. This is like, there's always palate cleansers in here. Actually, that one probably should have gone in the memes folder. I don't know why I didn't. But there's some interesting stuff in here. There's a couple of things in here we can't play till tomorrow night for the premium stream. For you guys know why. But yeah, anyway, there's a big mix of stuff in here, and it's all good times. And we're all going to have a lot of fun. And it's going to give us all a new lease on life. Like this one here, this Beatles one. We can't do this. That's automatic copywriting. But we'll do it tomorrow on the Rumble premium stream. And yeah, there we go. So should we just do this one now? This should be in the memes as well. I don't know why it's not. How one shoe can ruin a family photo. How can one shoe, one simple, single little shoe, ruin an entire family photo? How could that happen? I can't really even imagine how. What kind of shoe is it? Is it some kind of, what's going on? How one shoe can ruin a family photo. Oh, that's how. That's how. I wonder if in fact, I'm going to have to move that because I might get like a strike for that. The AI might misinterpret that. That's how one shoe can ruin a family photo. Man, that's not good. Not good. Not good times. Bad times. All right. Well, we saw that now. All right. Then before we get back to the chat, I want to remind you guys, I have started up a new second channel on YouTube for people on Rumble or locals. Don't worry. Everything that I do, I don't think everything goes onto locals, actually. I think just the live streams. But for Rumble, don't worry. Everything I do is going to go on the same main Rumble channel. Do not worry about that. But for YouTube, there is a second channel I just started up, I think 4 days ago. And a bunch of stuff is going to be going on the second channel. There's going to be the world news is all going to go on there. The meme reviews are going to go on there. And stuff that I just don't think fits anymore on the main channel is going to go over to here. There's going to be lots. I've already put out 10 videos since, Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. And the purpose of it was to see, because I've long suspected there's some sort of flagging happening on my YouTube channel. And this seems to have confirmed it. So already just in like 4 days or 5 days, 20 subscribers, 10 videos. I get this channel was started from scratch. It's like started from a new, this is completely separate from the main Radio Baloney channel, the original one. And this is just from scratch. And already, as you can see, 20 subscribers, 10 videos. One of those videos has outperformed every main channel, original Radio Baloney channel video for like 3 weeks. So that shouldn't happen. That just shouldn't happen, right? So maybe it's a fluke because there's still, a few videos on there that are like in single digits. But again, at 4 days in, you would expect that for a brand new channel starting totally from scratch. What I didn't expect was to have a video that's outperforming everything I've put out in like 3 weeks on the main channel. That should not happen. This is confirming for me very quickly that, there's something going on that's not organic. And look, I started this channel about 5 years ago. The one you're watching now, not the new channel, the second channel. I started this channel 5 years ago, right before the COVID era. And I was making videos right away on that lab in Wuhan and questioning everything that we were hearing. And I think I just got flagged right away. And it's just been weird because every time the channel has started to pick up steam, just overnight, it'll stop and I'll lose 80% of the views for no reason. Same content, same everything. I've suspected for years that something untoward is happening. Something malign is happening. And so far, it's confirming it because this channel I just started up. I had 20 subscribers, 10 videos. Has no place outperforming. None of these videos, those 10 videos, have any place outperforming stuff on the channel I've had for 5 years. So, with thousands of subscribers. So this is confirming to me something is definitely up. Definitely up. And I'm going to see at the end of the month. If this thing is even close to, 'cause maybe it's a fluke, but if this thing is even close to competing with the main channel by the end of the month, then I know. Then I know for sure. And then maybe it's time to just start moving everything over to the new channel. I don't know. But in any case, if you want to help me out, anybody watching on YouTube, go subscribe to the new channel. There's only, again, I just started it up, half a week ago. There's 20 subscribers on there now. There's 10 videos, but there's going to be at least, I think, 10 videos a week going onto that. And that's where you'll get all the world news and the meme reviews, all that kind of stuff. Please subscribe and help me out over there. And let's see if, the YouTube algorithm has put a curse on me. Lo, all these years where I've been working my ass off because they don't care. They don't care. They pretend to care about the creators. I don't think they care. I'm pretty sure they don't actually care. So to help a brother out, won't you? Help a guy out. Help a guy out. Go subscribe to that channel. And for the Rumble people, don't worry. Everything is going on to the Rumble channel. Everything. You don't need to find a second channel on there. And actually, it's going to be better because I'm putting out more content now. So, because I got to fill up 2 YouTube channels. So you're going to get all of it. So that's good news for everybody. Especially those who never learned how to love. It will fix them. All right. Back up to that chat. Now everybody subscribe to the chat, all the channels, and like all the streams, and become members of the channels as well, and send in all of your money. No amount is too much. All right. No, don't do it. Just watch, and like and stream, and like the stream, and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, love you guys. What's going on? I'm just scooching through the chat here. Where was I? Jack, how you doing? Jack says, you've seen one woman who's going to go pear-shaped. Literally, you've seen every woman you don't want to spend the rest of your life feeding I don't know, what the heck is that? Everybody gets old, Jack. Everybody does. I heard a saying. A friend of mine told me. He says, you show me a guy with a 10. What is it? How did it go? You show me a guy out with a 10, I'll show you a guy who's tired of banging her. Uh-oh. But my friend is a scumbag, so keep that in mind. Let's see. I don't agree with that. And besides, everybody has their own idea of what a 10 is anyway. I mean, a big thing about attraction is that personality really does matter. And getting to know somebody, that closeness and emotional closeness, I know for myself personally, it's made women far irresistibly attractive, who other people wouldn't have called a 10. That's a part of it. Let's see. Spambot Fodder makes an awesome point here. Everybody listen, this is important. NDP is a communist party. If the NDP ever interrupts you at any point, you're walking down the street or something, and there's some NDP person, whatever, just do this. Say, shut up, commie. Commie gets nothing. And the applause, the people around you will just spontaneously applause when you do that. That's why it's important to always carry around like a buzzer with you that you can just press just in case. Let's see. Chef Rico says Turtle was the first to comment. Okay, we're finding out late tonight. Turtles, that's triple good karma for you. Triple good karma. Why didn't you say anything? Come on, claim it. Triple good karma. Beautiful. Let's see. Chef Rico says, free Alberta. That way I can see the Calgary Flames play. Well, I'm sure you can see them play now, can't you? Oh, I see. So, but you're in the States. I see. So if they become part of the States, that way you can go up and see the Flames play. I guess so. They do go down to California, though, too, you know. Spambot Fodder says, makes a really important point here. Marxist carnage carnival clown. I like it. A Marxist carnage carnival clown. I like it. It's a little bit much. I mean, it doesn't roll off the tongue as well, but it's good. Let's see. Okay, we're back to that part of the chat again. I went way back. I went too far back. Let's see. Everybody like the stream. Like it right now. Jack says, well, how about this one? Carney barfs. Carney barfs. Maybe. We shall consider it. Canuck Six Trigger, how you doing? Let's see. Carnage Carney. Mickey says, how you doing, Mickey? Carnage Carney. We do like Carnage Carney. We do like that one. Mark's Carnage Carney. Let's see. Chef Rico says, just subscribed. Liked lots of videos. Thank you very much, sir. Everybody go to the new channel, the new YouTube channel, the second channel, Radio Baloney News, and subscribe to the channel immediately. All right. Chef Rico says now this is really important, actually. Everybody listen to this. The only way to heaven is Richie. We must give him all our money. He needs a new jet to spread the word. Well, we're all going to move out to the Congo together and build a compound there. So that's where we're meeting the alien spaceship. So just a heads up. Now, I'm not saying start making plans right now. There's plenty of time. Let's see. Spambot Fodder says, were you able to confirm the interaction level needed for paid impressions on YouTube yet? Paid impressions. Well, I'm not sure what that is. But the thing is that what they're doing, and also this is an interesting thing with the second channel. Now, the click-through ratio is more than double what it is on my original channel. It's actually what my channel was at before overnight. About a month ago, it just dropped off a cliff. So what they're doing is on the original channel now is that they're just showing my thumbnails to people who aren't interested. That's why it just overnight just dropped, went off a cliff. That's the way it happens with my channel. It'll just drop off a cliff, and it's algorithmic. It's not organic. That's the problem that's happening, is that they are, because I can see all of a sudden there'll be a spike in impressions, but it's all to people who aren't interested in my videos. That's the only explanation, right? There's no reason why I'm not doing anything differently. That's why it's happening, and it's continuing to happen. So a video that would have 6% click-through rate is now 0.9%. That's not me. I haven't changed anything. That's the algorithm showing my impressions to people who don't care, who aren't interested in my videos, in the topic. It's like if you wanted to see video of, it's like if you were looking for like tennis tips, right? Like for your grip or something, right? And then they showed you a video about basketball. Well, you're not going to watch the basketball. It's sports, but you're not going to watch the basketball. You're only going to watch the ones that are about tennis grips, right? That's what's happening. Jack says, sorry, man, been out with a few chicks in my time. Kinda know how it turns out. Jack says, most of them are genuinely crazy anyway. Let's see. Well, I'm the proud owner of 2 divorces myself. So, I know how it goes. Chef Rico, what an awful thing to say. He says, I like to date illegals. Best way to end a fight is don't make me call ICE. She's my 10. What a terrible person you are. What a degenerate chat I have. My chat is a train wreck. But it's a beautiful train wreck. And thank you, Chef Rico, for sharing that wisdom. I like them young and from broken homes. Like 25, I mean. Come on. Let's see. Spambot says, I will not move to Congo. We'll send you a mail-in ballot. Let's see. Meaning you get comped. All right. Paid impressions is what you actually get compensated. Well, it's ads. So how many ads people see on your how many people see ads on your content? That's the monetization on YouTube. And then there's like memberships as well, and people can super chat, that sort of thing. Chef Rico says, we're going to miss you on our space flight to planet Justin Trudeau. You know what? Maybe we'll stop by with the spaceship on our way up. It's on our way to planet Trudeau. Why would we go there? Why would anybody follow my cult, if we were going to go to planet Trudeau? No. It's got to be something better than that. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, let's start our own town in the Congo. Let's call it Jonestown. I like the ring of that. Chef Rico says, Carneyville. We're not convincing anybody to go there. We're just not. All right. Spambout Fodder says, you will not get a share of the ad revenue for silent views. I don't know, man. For silent views. Oh, if they don't like, you mean? If they don't like. Oh, I see. Okay. That's what you're referring to. Okay. I haven't looked into it. To be honest, I've been so busy getting this second channel going and getting content for it going. I haven't had time for literally anything else. So I did watch some boxing yesterday, but otherwise nothing else. I'm just spending my life in front of a computer. I go for walks. And I watch boxing on Saturdays. I'm kind of addicted to this. All right. Let's get started. So, all right. Woke mind virus. Did somebody say woke mind virus? Let's see. Well, there's Jim Acosta there. Now he's crazy. He's got the idea pathogen, and there's Rosie O'Donnell, and she does as well. So it's not surprising that they'd be doing a thing together. Let's take a look. What kind of crazy gibberish are they going to spout? Let's take a look.
Well, listen, it's very sad to me what's happening in the United States. Yeah. It's overwhelmingly depressing, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And I fear.
So what part of it? Like reduced crime or like secure border, not being flooded with millions of people that you don't know who the hell they are? So which part of it exactly is depressing her? Didn't she move to Ireland? So I guess it's getting worse and worse there. So I guess that's making her happy.
For the safety of the world.
Yeah.
And he is a dangerous man.
Yeah.
And he's trying to shut up any dissent.
He's a dangerous man. Really? Because it seems like the people who don't like him are more dangerous, considering how many times they've tried to assassinate him. But anyway.
He's trying to erase Black culture, gay culture. He's trying
to erase Black culture. How? How is he doing that? He's not putting Beyonce in prison. Gay culture. What on earth is she talking about? I mean, yes, he's against gender medical experiments on children. Yes, he's against medical gender experiments on children, but that has nothing to do with gay. 90% of that is converting gay people into trans people, right? That's the actual conversion therapy. On what planet does any of this make sense? Like, there is not one atom of evidence of any of this. It's truly bizarre. This is a genuine example of the woke mind virus, just totally parasitized by an idea pathogen that's completely lost. And I'm not being facetious when I say this. Lost all agency, all free will, the ability to reason. She's just living in a woke mind virus fantasy. She just exists to propagate the mind virus, to spread the mind virus to other smooth-brained people. Let's continue.
To make a white separatist nation, and we cannot allow him to do that.
I agree.
White separatist nation? What does that mean? White separatist nation? What does white separatist nation mean? He's going to put all the white people in one place and then separate that from none of this makes sense. And I mean, on top of all this, on top of being a complete race communist dingbat infected with a mind virus, she looks like that. I mean, it's just the worst of all worlds. You know, the universe has just not blessed her with anything.
With you. 1,000%. We cannot allow that to happen. And, you know,
what, allow the fantasy world that she's created in her mind, or that's been created in her mind for her by people like Jim Acosta, can't allow that to happen, can't allow the ludicrous, ridiculous fantasy world to happen. Thanks, Jim Acosta.
So the other thing that he's doing is covering up his health issues. It's just so obvious.
Yes, I mean, in this day and age.
Just unbelievable. Oh my God. You'd think at some point a guy like Jim Acosta would say, maybe I should have some credibility with the public, right? Maybe I should have just like a tiny, maybe I should try and maintain like, I don't know, like 10 people that believe anything that I say. Covering up his health issues. Where was this during Biden? When there were genuine health issues, like serious health issues, right? Not just like a guy being 79, right? But obviously being demented, And now look at this. He's just aghast at covering up his health issues. Get Trump 79, okay? He's 79, okay? He didn't show up. He wasn't in the public eye for 3 days, for a long weekend, right? And it was a catastrophe. Obviously, he's died or something like that. And then he shows up and he's perfectly spry. Every time you see him, he's remarkably spry and sharp for a 79-year-old, sharper than most people half his age. Jim Acosta's just aghast. Yeah, he's 79, right? He's going to have some health problems occasionally. That's just part of being 79. But clearly, he's still in control of his faculties, and he's obviously quite sharp and still incredibly energetic. I would say more so than Jim Acosta. What is Jim Acosta not telling us? What is he hiding about his health? What is Rosie O'Donnell? Do you really think that Rosie O'Donnell is in better shape than Donald Trump? I'm not buying it.
You think people don't know what congestive heart failure looks like?
Yeah.
You think people don't know that?
The weird makeup.
Don't have family members who've gone through dementia and what it looks like and what.
Oh, these people, dementia and what it looks like. We know what dementia looks like. Should we do a fact check?
Fact check.
Dementia and what it looks like. Let's see. Maybe Rosie O'Donnell and Jim Acosta need a reminder of what it looks like. Hold on a second. Here we go. Dementia and what it looks like.
The projects, the benefits. How do you lead the world without having the best infrastructure in the world? How do you lead the world without having the best healthcare in the world? How do you lead the world without having?
That's dementia and what it looks like. Let's see what dementia and what it looks like doesn't look like.
Fact check.
Let's see. Okay. So this is Peter. This is like the day after the left decided that Trump was gravely ill or possibly deceased.
How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see it for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well.
Okay, that's not what dementia looks like. Okay, that looks like an incredibly spry and sharp 79-year-old. Okay, is he as sharp as he was 20 years ago or even 10 years ago? Probably not, but still pretty good. He's clearly not in mental decline, any serious mental decline. And it's ridiculous. These people are shameless. Like, what? Let's hear that again.
Yeah.
You think people don't know that?
The
You
weird
think
makeup.
people don't have family members who've gone through dementia and what it looks like?
Do you think that people don't know that you pretended that Biden didn't have dementia and now you're pretending that Trump does? Shameless. Unbelievable. I mean, actually, let's give them a little bit of a break, right? If they do have the idea pathogen, which I'm certain they both do, they're not in control. The mind virus is in control. So they're really just slaves to the woke mind virus. So I guess more than anything, we should pity them.
And what it sounds like, he thinks it's a reality show, Jim.
Yeah.
He thinks it's Mark Burnett saying, cut, let's redo that. It didn't sound true enough because nothing was true on that show. It was fiction sold as fact.
Right.
And it fooled America. And it's very tragic.
Yeah, we all know that reality TV isn't real. Okay, that's not some great evidence of anything. I actually, you know what I'm going to say right now? I pity her. I pity her because she's become just simply a mindless drone at this point. And that face, I mean, come on, that face. She wasn't blessed. She was not blessed by the universe. Let's be honest about that. And obviously a miserable person. You can just tell by the resting harpy face. Resting harpy face. So I bet you she's even too miserable for the other lesbians. Right? Even they're like, man, she's a bummer. All right, what are you guys saying? Let's see. Let's go back to the weather show for this, for the chat. It's depressing looking at her face. It's so unfortunate. Let's see. Chefrigo says, what is it with those hideous glasses? I don't think it makes any difference. She's just, there's nothing that would help. Jack says, the only thing actually notable about O'Donnell is that he is a man. I didn't know that, but now it makes so much sense. Trailer Survivor asks, is Jim the one on the right or the one on the left? Well, that's the thing. I mean, your first thought is, oh, it's two lesbians. Maybe that's Rosie O'Donnell's wife. Maybe it is. Izzy says, how you doing, Izzy? It was wishful thinking. Biden looked like he was dead for most of his term. Well, he barely ever was. I mean, they kept him, I believe they kept him in his cryogenic chamber for 90% of his term. And they just thaw him out when they absolutely had to. Chef Rico says Gavin Newsom is running concentration camps full of conservatives. He forces them to make mail-in ballots. It would not surprise me, not in the least. Spambot says dementia looks like Biden. It's like they can't hear themselves, isn't it? It's amazing. Spambot fodder says, including Hunter. Hunter just looks like he's either on crack or he needs crack all of the time. You know, at first I felt kind of sorry for him because I understand addiction myself, sober for, like 7.5 years now, knock on wood. But he's such a terrible person. Like, I don't think, here's the thing with most addiction, there's this kind of, and I've been to 3 rehabs, all right? There's this kind of fiction that's being created, this kind of left-wing kind of fiction that's being created, that it's all just a bunch of really good people who just made some mistakes. No, A really good share are just assholes who don't care about themselves or anybody else. I can tell you that from experience. A bunch of them are just assholes. Some of them are psychopaths who just don't care about anything, and they never will. And getting sober won't make them better people. And they most of them, a large part, will never get sober anyway, because they just don't want to. Like, you can't appeal to their conscience, right? And there are good people like myself who just, decided that, they had a drink and then just decided, this is so great. I'm going to try and do this all the time forever and not stop. Let's see. Judo Survivor says, I was sure Biden was going to accidentally trip and fall so that Cackleface would become president. I wonder if Biden got some new security or something, a new Praetorian Guard or something, when he realized that the knives were out for him and all of his the people he thought were his allies were about to betray him. All right, I'm going to skip down a little bit. All right. Spambot Fodder says she should put out a mean tweet so she can get arrested with every other white person in UK and Ireland. But you see, here's the thing, it's the arbitrary application of justice. If you're left wing, you can say literally anything. It doesn't matter. That's fine. It's only people who disagree with the state. Let's see. Spambot's having trouble with Rumble tonight. Extreme is flawless. Okay, well, that's good. I don't know why that happens. Let's see. Chef Rico, it must actually be tiring to wake up angry every day. These are not people I want to be around. Well, the thing is, they're so humorless. And Rosie O'Donnell was supposed to be like a comic actress, supposed to be funny at one point. I don't remember her ever being funny, but she was in comedies and stuff, wasn't she? And it's just so humorless. That's the mark of the left now. So utterly humorless. All right, let's move on. So let's get to this horrible story. And really, it's a media story as well as a crime story. From David Santa Carla here. Without Daniel Penny, you get Irina Zarutska. So very beautiful young Ukrainian woman who'd fled the war was just mercilessly murdered by a monster on the train who'd been arrested and let go multiple times. Here's what happens. So if Daniel Penny had been on here and put this guy in a chokehold, he'd be the one going to prison. Although Daniel Penny did win his case, so he was found innocent. But the process is the punishment all the same, because it would have cost him an enormous amount of money to defend himself as well as the stress, and then having to look over your shoulder, the rest of your life. But this is the fork in the road that I always talk about, right? In 2024, the U.S. had a fork in the road. They could choose which way to go. And this is a part of it. This is the Kamala way. This is the race communist, the equity way. And then this is the let's have a civil society. Let's have a normal, safe, high-trust society. Let's double down on what it means to be, part of Western civilization. That was a choice. The United States took this choice, but still, this is happening. Still, that is happening. But you can't fix everything in one term. And, truthfully, in a country with hundreds of millions of people, you're going to have maniacs. The key is that you don't just let them run around. There's always going to be somebody who manages to, go undetected until they commit some horrible crime. But there's just too much of it. There's too much of it. This is when there's a hero around. That's when there isn't. Don't forget, this guy was threatening to kill people on the train. There was no Daniel Penny on this train to save that poor Ukrainian girl. Again, this is the choice for the West. Which way, Western man? Which way? Which way? This is the choice for the West. Matt Van Swole, here's a list of all the news networks who have not covered the Charlotte, North Carolina story. New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, MSNBC, NPR, USA Today, Reuters, Axios, ABC News, PBS. Of course not. This is not part of the narrative. This is not what they want people to see. This isn't, this wouldn't further gender or race communism. So of course they're not going to. The secret's out. The cat's out of the bag. They're not there to inform you. They're there to manipulate. That's it. They don't even pretend that that's not the case anymore. Every single one of them wrote stories on Daniel Penny. Do you get it yet? Yes. They are furthering gender and race communism. That's their goal. They are there to manipulate. That's it. 74,221 Associated Press articles about George Floyd. 0 articles, AP articles about Irina Zarutska. Of course. Now, it's years ago now, so there will be a lot of stories, but the stories came out immediately the first day. You can go and check the day. What was it, May 26, 2020, that the video first was released? And yeah, there's tons of stories right there. They're not going to talk about this because it's not the narrative, right? People are going to see reality in this image, and it's going to make them angry, and they can't do that. That's not their job. Their job is to stop you from recognizing reality. So this is the sort of stuff that's being pushed. I mean, this is why the news won't do it. Here's reality. Okay. This was a British Netflix series here on this side, because it's the same everywhere, right? Like, it's just this leftist monoculture over the entire Western world now. So, BBC or Netflix in the UK or in Canada or in the US, just any network, it's a monoculture, a mono woke culture at this point. They're all exactly the same as the teleprompter readers, same as the leftist politicians. They're all exactly the same.
I can stand it.
Yeah.
I can stand it if I like.
So it's just a complete inversion of reality, right? The white guy harassing the minority woman. It's just a total inversion of reality. Everybody knows it, yet they keep doing it. They keep doing it. When will they stop? Elon Musk, no one commits narrative crimes like the New York Times. They are the best. So he's retweeted this. What is the editorial reasoning by New York Times here? Well, let's see. Daniel Penny, 100 results. Irina Zarutska, 0 results. Yes, it's not a part of the narrative, of the approved narrative. Therefore, people can't know it. They would literally be they would be betraying their jobs if they reflected reality, if they informed the public, because that's not their job anymore. So all right, I think that's enough for there. This is why the media is so hated. This is why the media is so hated by right-thinking people. And we celebrate their demise. All right. Hold on one second. All right. I'm going to keep doing this for the next little while, just for the people over on YouTube, just to remind them, we've got a second channel, Radio Baloney News. It's fresh. I just started it 4 or 5 days ago. Please go and subscribe there. There's going to be tons of content that you're not going to get on the main YouTube channel. over there. There's going to be their meme reviews, and like all the world news is going to be going onto this one. I think the vast majority of the U.S. news is going to go onto this one. Please go over there and subscribe. It's brand new. Help me out. You don't want to miss the content. Also like the stream and everything else, blah, blah, blah. Rumble people, don't worry. Everything is going onto that same channel. You don't have to worry about a thing. That's just for YouTube. All right. Rant juice. Okay. Trudeau Survivor says the left loves abortion, but some deranged animal, 100% guilty, won't get the death penalty. Probably not. Probably not. I've switched my mind on the death penalty, I think. I always just felt that while there are people that deserved it, that I just don't trust the government, and especially during the Trudeau era, did the Emergencies Act, basically War Measures Act in Canada, and was just unbelievably corrupt, persecuting and organizers of the trucker convoy. But I think at this point now, I think I've changed my mind. I still don't trust the government, though. That's the thing. I'm not under any illusions as to what governments are capable of. Just read about like the Soviet Union, read about Mao's China, read about the Nazis, right? Like that stuff is all there. It's all possible. But they weren't, those people were not a different species, right? They were the same as us. They were just in a different time and different circumstances. But still, at this point now, I'm starting to think, do you really need to just keep feeding these people forever, these monsters? So I don't know. I'm still on the fence, actually. I've gone from just being dead set against the death penalty because I don't trust the government to maybe. Let's see. Chef Rico says Alberta go left towards Daniel Penny. Yeah, a lot of people think that it's totally unrealistic, but I'm not buying that. I think it can happen. Alberta independence. Bad Uncle Frank, good to see ya. Says Rosie's always been a cranky old. Can I say that word? Everybody, if you've got children in the room, cover their ears right now. Cover their ears right now, because there's going to be something rude coming out of the speakers. Are you ready? Rosie's always been a cranky old gunt. I changed it at the last second. I changed it to gunt. You guys know what I'm talking about. All right. Chef Rigo says it's going to take more than 4 years to unfunk the USA. Canada, I don't know. Canada. And by the way, I'm not saying gunt. I'm not saying funk because I'm worried about the censors. I'm saying it for you guys because I don't want to do a dirty, filthy blue show. Right? I want to get the swears out just at really specific times when we really need them. Right? So all I can say is that I'm going to read your chats, but you mother huggers better keep it clean. Better keep it clean. No, I don't care. Whatever. Just kidding around. Let's see. Canada, generational damage. It's not something that's going to be fixed in 4 years. If we had elected Pierre Poilievre in the last election, he couldn't have fixed everything in 4 years. We're talking about generational damage. It's going to take a generation to fix. Now with Carney, just really maxing it out, he's gonna max out the national credit card. It's gonna be a real mess, right? Hey, look, UK, France are talking about IMF bailouts there, and don't forget, the UK had an IMF bailout in 1976, so it wouldn't even be their first one, right? Very humiliating, but it could be coming again. You think that couldn't happen to Canada? Oh yeah. And if that happens, guess what? Now you're talking real austerity. And there's nothing you can do because you got that IMF bailout. Of course, none of this will get through the thick heads of the people determined to vote NDP or Liberal. Rosie says, New York Times, cancel, please. It's trash. I've been saying it's trash since like for 20 years. I've been saying it's trash since the run up to the Iraq War with Judith Miller and the all the fake stuff about the weapons of mass destruction and the uranium and all of that. I've been saying that since then for decades now. That the New York Times was trash. Let's see. All right, what do we got going on? All right, I'm going to have to move on. What are we, an hour in? All right, let's get going. So, EU, what's going on in the EU? Is this, I mean, honestly, this could be San Francisco. It could be Toronto. This could be, I think this is Paris, but it could be London, right? It could be Rome. Just these guys who, for some reason, are there smashing coconuts because that's what they do. I don't know. It's not as charming as I thought France would be, as Paris would be. I've got, with everything that I've seen, and actually I had a friend who went there a few months ago. And yeah, he's a liberal, and he, went there with rose-tinted glasses and left realizing that it's a hellhole. It's a shithole now. It's not the France of the past. It's not the France of the expatriates of Hemingway and Fitzgerald. No. It's not that anymore. It's something else. I feel like Hemingway and Fitzgerald probably fit in to Paris a lot better. A lot better. That particular movable feast fitted a lot better than these guys smashing their funking coconuts in the street. It's just madness. I mean, all that history, everything, let's just throw it away. Let's throw it away so we can have diversity, cultural enrichment. Let's see. This is the result of glorifying criminals in Paris. He who spares the wolf sacrifices the sheep. So let's take a look. What is she saying? As she went there.
Don't get me wrong, I love living in Paris, but it is not for the fucking weak. I want to be able to go outside, right?
See, any city, like you say, I love living here, but it's not for the weak. Well, what does not for the weak mean, right? Well, for people who don't like being afraid all the time. I'm not sure that's not just the weak. I think there's strong people too who would say, oh, hell no, I'm not living there.
Right now, to be able to enjoy life, but I've been harassed so many fucking times in this goddamn city that I'm afraid to go anywhere fucking alone. And there's a whole beautiful city out there that I just want to see, but I'm actually fucking terrified. Oh, send help, please. Please tell me to go back to my country. I will. Don't get me wrong, I love.
Yeah, this is like what my friend described, right? He's like big 6'2" guy, right? Probably 250 pounds, right? Was like, yeah, it's sketchy. Like, it's scary. Like, they tell you, like, don't go out at night. Why is Western civilization doing this to itself? It's lunacy. What else have we got? Here in the Northern Ireland has had enough. So listen to this. I think things could pop off in Ireland. Northern Ireland and in Ireland, I think. Let's take a look.
Palestine! Stick your Palestine! Stick your Palestine up your hole!
They're singing, stick your Palestine up your hole. They're doing it with good. They're letting their displeasure with what's happening to their country be known. And they're doing it with some good humor.
Stick your Palestine up your hole! You can stick your Palestine up your hole! You can stick your Palestine! Stick your Palestine!
It looks like a good, half of these people marching there are, Irish useful idiots, Northern Irish useful idiots. Antifa, you can see some Antifa types in there as well.
Take your Palestine up your home.
Yeah, they've had it. I mean, like the Catholics and the Protestants have joined forces now. Whoever saw that coming? They've joined forces against the mass immigration that they've seen. And it's the same everywhere in Europe. They've had this mass immigration forced on them. Nobody voted for it. This was not like part of any political campaign. We promised to bring in millions of people who just that it's impossible to assimilate into our society because they don't want to. And some large percentage, 40, 50, 60, 70%, are just coming for benefits because they think that you're stupid. And, well, their government is either stupid or malign. So it's happening. It's actually happening all over Europe. People are just saying we've had enough. 60% of respondents said they plan to vote for Conor McGregor in next month's election. A new poll by Irish newspaper The Liberal suggests that Conor McGregor is on course to win Ireland's presidential election in a landslide. Huge win for Ireland. Well, I do believe I've got him. Oh, wait a second. I think he's over here. Hold on. I've got him in the wrong tab, I think, but I believe he's over here. Where is he? That picture, the shoe picture. Oh, dear. Hold on. I believe he's over here somewhere. Hold on. Hang with me, people. You know how it goes. Here he is. Conor McGregor, citizens of Ireland. So this is not Northern Ireland. This is just Ireland. The time for real change is now. As president, I will not sign any bill in law until it goes back to the people first. So let's take a look. Will there be a President will there be a President Conor McGregor of Ireland terrifying the other world leaders? Let's see.
Good morning, citizens of Ireland. I'm here today outside the office of the Taoiseach and Taoiseach, where we are over 200 days into the formation of current government. In these times, this government has cost us our peace of mind, our security, our hope for the future, and the general well-being of Irish citizens nationwide has decreased dramatically, whereby we have seen the homelessness of Irish children risen to levels unprecedented, proving this government's refusal to abide by and respect our proclamation, and where all children of Ireland are to be cherished. Instead, our children abandoned. This incompetent failure of future generations has been accompanied with an intense influx of mass migration into an already severed system. Our tourism has sharply declined, while danger on our streets has risen. Ireland, as a master of martial combat, a solution-driven man, you will hear me speak on a problem but once, then it is action towards solution. I urge all our citizens to be of the same. Today, Ireland, I am outside these gates of these appointed officials, but as your head of state, you empower me to enter these buildings on your behalf. A president face to face with government officials with only one priority: to ensure that the country our founding fathers gave their life for is strictly adhered to on behalf of its citizens. Ireland, under my tenure, the will of the people will be heard. Ireland, under my tenure, we will return important articles of our Constitution prior, and thus again aligning with Padraig Pearse's proclamation, in that we declare the right of the people of Ireland to the ownership of Ireland and to the unfettered control of Irish destinies, to be sovereign and indefeasible Irish men and Irish women, in the name of God and of the dead generations from which she receives her old tradition of nationhood. Ireland, through us, summons her children to her flag and strikes for her freedom. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
That was awesome. He's a fantastic orator. I mean, it kind of seems like a natural politician. I wish I was Irish so I could vote for him. This is what the West needs. It needs Donald Trump's. It needs Conor McGregor's. It needs Tommy Robinson's. This is what they need. I mean, that was unbelievable. That almost sent chills down my spine. That was so patriotic. That was amazing. I mean, him as the prime minister or president of Ireland. Which is it? Is it? Hold on. President. Him as president of Ireland, for one thing, there'd be so many great videos for the channel to go on the new channel. Awesome. But I've got to say, that was impressive. That was impressive. That was rousing. That was stirring. I mean, I bet you there were Irish people in tears hearing somebody finally advocate for them so passionately. I mean, I was almost in tears watching that, you know? Just so, the passion, it just so articulate and so passionate. This is what the West needs. And no bullshit. Bad Uncle Frank says, you can tell it was a heartfelt speech. Yes. Right, let me go back in the chat for a little bit to find out where you guys started talking about this, because I want to hear what you guys had to say about this. To me, that was remarkable. Chef Rico says the Irish fought each other because they prayed to Jesus differently. So what kind of welcoming would they expect? Well, they've joined forces now because they have a greater threat now. Spambot says, doesn't matter if you're Catholic or Protestant. If you're Irish, you must vote for him. Yes. Chef Rico, only the leftists could possibly funk things up so bad they might make Ireland unite. Yeah. Well, this is the thing, is that leftist ideology, radical progressivism, equity only hurts people. It only ruins society. It only causes dysfunction. It causes dysfunction in everything that it touches.
Everything woke turns to shit.
They are not trying to fit their ideology into the world. They're trying to fit their idea. They are not trying to fit their ideology into the world. They're trying to fit the world and all the people in it into their ideology. And they don't care if they have to crush everybody and break everybody to do so, right? History is not confused on this, right? Look at collectivization in the Soviet Union. Look at dekulakization. Look at Cultural Revolution in China. They just don't care. They don't care what effect it has on people, about people's well-being. It's all about the ideology. So they will just keep going. And by the way, when they screw things up, inevitably, they always do, because it can't do anything else. Equity can't do anything else. It's the only thing it can do, right? The prescription to fix everything is more. They just didn't go far left enough. And they'll just keep doing it until people snap. Chef Rico says he was holding back his emotions. Yeah. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says the Red Triangle people are ungrateful. Send them home. Send them home. Well, it's unbelievable the things that they say. Just like man on the street videos. It's unbelievable somebody who's been granted, haven in a safe country would say the things they say. Oh, Canada's a colonizer state, an illegitimate state, and blah, 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 and burn Canada. It's unbelievable. All right, but they do. They say it. Where are we next? So I think we got everything that we did. All right, let's move on. So here is Stephen Miller, who has uncovered a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. We covered this, I think, about a month ago, where there are allegations that the police force there in D.C. had been falsifying crime stats to make it look like there was less crime than there actually was, a particularly violent crime. So we actually have already covered this, but here is Stephen Miller talking about it. Now, let's hear what he has to say. And this guy is really to the point. He's kind of a bulldog, isn't he? Right? Nothing gives this guy pause for thought. He's just 100% all the time.
And the president spoke about this before. We've uncovered, in the process of uncovering, a massive scandal in Washington, D.C. with the doctoring of crime stats. And the Department of Justice, under the Attorney General, is leading the effort to uncover this. But when we ultimately share the results, it will stun you. The extent to which, even though D.C. had the worst crime in America, honestly measured, it dramatically understated how bad it was. There's even accusations that murders and homicides were reported as accidents instead of murders. I mean, this is how severe the manipulation of the crime data has been in the city, and it will all be uncovered and it will all be brought to light. You know, I've had a chance to spend some time, as has everyone here, with the police officers in the city. Members of the public are going up to them and thanking them, just overflowing with gratitude.
Yeah, Democrats, leftists.
And the president spoke about this before.
Now, leftists of all stripes play dirty games because it's because it's by any means necessary for them. That's their viewpoint. So lying is, the end goal is good. They think, right? Equity, race, gender, communism is good. So just by any means, it's justified. The ends justify the means in their mind. So they will play dirty games and they will fake crime stats. They'll do things like if you were to take a look at, crime 10 years previously and it's way down, it's gone way up 10 years later. On the 11th year, if it goes down 2%, they'll talk about how crime is down, our policies are working, even though that's just a complete lie. They will also just fake the numbers. Hold on a second. So, and we covered this at least a few weeks ago. Here's August 17th. So that's when we covered it. DC police accused of downplaying violent crimes to make stats look more favorable. That's August 17th, 2025. So let's see. The Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. is facing accusations it routinely manipulates statistics on crimes such as stabbings, shootings, and carjackings to make it look like the city is less violent than it is. And then they say, look, violent crime's down, our policies are working, even though they know it's totally a lie, but they're shameless, so they don't care, just about winning. At least one high-ranking officer has been suspended so far over the disturbing claims. Quote, when our members respond to the scene of a felony offense where there is a victim reporting that a felony occurred, inevitably there will be a lieutenant or a captain that will show up on that scene and direct those members to take a report for a lesser offense. That's from DC Police Union Chairman Greg Pemberton. He told that to NBC Washington. Quote, so instead of taking a report for a shooting or a stabbing or a carjacking, they will order that officer to take a report for theft or an injured person to the hospital or a felony assault, which is not the same type of classification. The department confirmed to the outlet that Michael Poilievre, commander of the city's 3rd district, was put on paid leave in mid-May. And that was an unnamed law enforcement sources said he was being investigated internally for making questionable changes to crime data. And they'll change it to different kinds of offenses that don't actually get counted in the FBI national data. Poilievre allegedly falsified violent crime statistics to make them appear more favorable for the city, an accusation he denies. But there's a big investigation going on, and I've got a feeling this is all going to be proven. All right, so yeah, that's what he's talking about. And nobody will be surprised. Let's see. All right, so let's move on from there. I want to show you something here. So the NDP, which is the, I think, official at this point, Gender and Race Communist Party of Canada, used to be like a working class union party. Now, gender and race communism, that's all they really need. Continues to be the most embarrassing political party of all time. So this is from Alex Zoltan. They're now limiting nominations from cis men in their leadership race. So here is the interim, the temporary leader of the NDP, who has actually done a pretty good job. This guy here, Don
the
Davies.
introduction that
Of course, he's the interim leader of the Gender and Race Communist Party. So, I don't think it's going to work out for him long term. He would like to be the leader of the federal NDP. I don't think it's going to work out. We'll get to that in a second. But he harkens back to another age, another time of NDP politicians, more like Jack Layton, who were appealing to working class people, to union people. Here he is here during the Air Canada strike, working as the temporary leader, interim leader of the NDP. This is what the party used to be before Jagmeet Singh.
Everybody gave concessions to this company when they needed it. You signed 10-year collective agreements, unheard of in the industry. You rolled back your wages. You took all sorts of working condition concessions, and you did it to help the company. Now, where are we today? This company is making billions of dollars. Their executives are making...
So this is boilerplate, union stuff, socialist stuff. But it's what the party is supposed to be, what it always was before it became, before it became this. So that's the last leader, Jagmeet Singh. There he is. And I guess Mark Carney got jealous. I think this is the same guy here. Maybe they both know him. I don't know. Maybe they both met him at the dog park. No idea. But so this is the last leader of the NDP. So doesn't scream working class union, does it? It screams, I don't know, gender communism, I guess. Let's see. We also have him here telling us about how much he doesn't like older white men. So, yeah, not so much the working class union thing.
To be really blunt, I've seen a lot of older white men fail upwards again and again, and that is just going to continue unless we actually try to.
Older white men fail upwards again and again. Unlike Jagmeet, he never failed upwards. This is just racism. This is just anti-white racism from a racist, from a race communist. All right. So they lost 10 points in the last election because of him. And that the vast majority of that 10% of the vote went to Mark Carney, which is why he won the election. Now, if the NDP really wanted to be relevant again, they'd get a guy like this. Yeah, just old school, this is boilerplate, union stuff. That's what the party's supposed to be. He'd get a lot of those a lot of that NDP vote that left and went to the Liberals, he'd get them back. And already he is. They've gone up 4 points. So if they were smart, they would just say, you know what, let's go back to our roots. Let's get this guy. I don't see it happening because he's not like a full-on gender race communist. I'm sure he supports all of that, but that's not his main thing. And he doesn't look the part either. Let's face it. He's a white man. So in their leadership contest, their leadership selection process, you have to get 500 signatures for the nomination. And they have to be across the country. But they have a rule now, the NDP, that only half of those 500 signatures of NDP members nominating you, only half of those can be from cis men. So in other words, men, right? Just normal men, only half. It's very gender, and it's certainly very gender communist, isn't it? It's very equity, which is it's very equity, which is the exact same thing. Here, Vassy is kind of grilling him on it a little bit, actually. Now, there's other things that they need to. You need $100,000, and you have to sign a bunch of like loyalty, progressive ideological statements as well. But let's watch this.
This week, I think arguably the biggest headline out of the official launch of the leadership race was that rule I mentioned in the introduction, that basically the requirement that at least 50% of the total required signatures must be from members who do not identify as a cis man. But do you get how that headline landed?
Yeah, and I don't share that sort of line from the media on that. There's a difference between identity politics and inclusion. And, all parties have rules in their
identity politics and inclusion. There's not a difference. It's actually exactly the same thing. Functionally, they mean the same thing. But let's let him continue.
Leadership races. So I think inclusion is a very, very vital component of our leadership race. And it's the way that you're going to get diverse policies. And
kind of seems like they're excluding, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it seem like it's excluding? Because, is there... And they're not, maybe I'm wrong, but I assumed that the NDP didn't have a rule against non-men, in the nominating process. I assume they didn't.
Include as many people from all walks of life in this country in the very important decisions we're going to have to make moving forward.
But if you want more young people to vote or more young people to participate, do you say to old people that they shouldn't? It's the negative connotation, right? It's like cis men can't, don't, do not. The language, I would imagine, is important, and it does send a message.
Right. But again, that, with respect, that interpretation is wrong. There is no...
No, it's explicitly discriminatory. Explicitly so. It's written in it. It's right there. It's obvious. Everybody knows what it means. Stop trying to spin it. And by the way, you're not going to get the job. I'm sorry. You're a middle-aged white guy. They're not going to let you full-time officially lead the gender race communist party. It's going to be a tree with a face painted on it or a photograph of a cloud that looks vaguely like Greta Thunberg.
Don't or can't. As many people that want to nominate can. You can get 3,000 nominations. This is it's just that a minimum of the 500 required have to come from a certain group. There is nothing preventing anybody in this country from any group of signing nomination papers at all. So this is just to make sure that there is a deliberate attempt to reach out to marginalized groups, people that are often left out of the process.
Well, I'm confused. Were they not allowed to vote before, to nominate before? Is that what you're telling me? Because I feel like they probably weren't, right? So, yeah, this is all just sounding like you're equivocating over something that is insane.
So that we can bring people in, and that doesn't take away rights from anybody else.
So more than 50% can be from cis men?
It's of the 500. Right, of the 500 required signatures, a certain percentage have to be, but beyond that, anybody can nominate. So everybody is included and welcome in the NDP leadership.
But that's what's required, right? Those signatures. Like I think you're trying to say like this is made up, but like that is what is written.
No, it's a policy by our federal council that's intended to make sure that we are reaching out to as many diverse groups as possible.
It's kind of pathetic, isn't it? Like, it's not kind of pathetic. It's actually pathetic when you see a guy like this, who your party is discriminating against you, clearly. It's explicit. They're explicitly discriminating against you, right? Yeah, okay, you got the temporary job. You got the interim job. But clearly they're not looking for you to take over. They want something else. They don't want a cis man or just a normal man. Now, I hope that he does get it and the NDP returns to its roots, for no other reason than that'll help the Conservatives, because that will pull union people back from the Liberals again if they start to look like a sane party again. I think it's too much to ask, though, for the NDP to seem sane again. I think they're too far gone. And they may not have a problem with this too many cis men anyway, because I think the NDP, being a deeply, woke mind virus progressive, radical progressive, gender race communist party, is probably primarily women at this point anyway. So they probably don't have a problem with that. They're probably not going to have that problem with too many cis men. I think they may not have that problem. All right. I mean, it might just be him at this point. Honestly. Although, I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of men with no self-respect in Canada still, obviously. Lots of them voted for Carney, so, what are you going to say? All right, anyway, there we go. Canada's crazy. Let's go back to the chat, then we're going to do memes. You guys ready for some memes? Memes are fun. We like doing those. But what about ad reads? Does everybody like them? Let's see. What ad can I get the most for? Looks like nothing really. All right, I'll do the ones that I have the most fun with. How about this one? All right, people, you've probably noticed. Rumble is growing fast and it's not slowing down. Look out, commies. They're building a real alternative to big tech that puts creators first and actually protects free speech. Well, that's the most important thing right there. And now there's Rumble Premium. I got it, and let me tell you, it was the happiest day of my life. I was surprised by how great it was. Total euphoria. An easy way to upgrade your experience with Premium. You get ad-free viewing across the platform. You don't even need to worry about that. You can see all of the Radio Baloney premium streams. Then you get to support free speech. I mean, come on, there's no losers here. It's just winning. No pre-rolls, no interruptions, just the content you came for. Good Lord, can this even be true? Can it be this good? Plus, premium members unlock exclusive content like bonus videos, behind-the-scenes drops, and more from your favorite creators. Right now, Rumble is offering $10 off an annual subscription. Annual subscriptions are the best. I love them. You just do it once a year. Just go to rumble.com/premium. That's rumble.com/premium and use the promo code STUDIO at checkout. That's right. Annual subscription, $10 off. Annual's the way to go. No more sleepless nights for you, my friend. It's done. That's rumble.com/premium. Rumble.com/premium. Promo code STUDIO. No ads, more freedom and content you actually care about. That's the deal. No ads, no commies, more freedom and content you actually care about. That, my friends, is the deal. Oh, that was good. That was real good. Real good. We've got some fun icons going on in the chat. Good Lord. This might be the most beautiful thing that's ever happened in history. Oh, okay, hold on a second. Where is that? Trudeau Survivor. Where is it? Here we go. I'll pin it after I do this. Trudeau Survivor, guess what? That's right. Trudeau Survivor is doing the best thing that any person ever can do, which is send me money. $5 Rumble Rant. What a beautiful thing. Nature's greatest miracle. Trudeau Survivor, guess what? Best person ever, all of history. Anybody that anybody might tell you was great or a better person than you, fuck them. That's a lie. Dalai Lama, dog shit. Einstein, garbage. Garbage human. Galileo, give me a break. What a scumbag. Trudeau Survivor's number one. Best person of all time. Let's pin that sucker. There we go. And one more time. it's kind of crazy when you think about it. You know, best person ever and less than the cost of that one of those Tesla Cybertrucks. Less than that. I mean, it's amazing, really. What a bargain. All right. Anyway, that's how happy I get when people give me things. By the way, everybody just subscribe to the channel, follow the channel, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. That's an awesome, awesome way to help out the channel. Like the stream wherever you are. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. Like the stream right now. Get your free good karma. In these troubled times, can you turn your back on some free good karma? What are you, crazy? Something terrible could happen to you. Not saying it will. I'm just saying it ain't going to help. All right. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says Vassie, top half of her face is much more attractive than the bottom half of her face. Well, hold on. Where was that? Let's see. Top half.
This week, I think
top half.
Arguably the biggest headline out of the official launch of the leadership break.
Do you know what? I never noticed that before, but you're right. You're right, Trudeau Survivor. That's a good pickup right there. Very perceptive. Don't tell her that, though. I don't want to make her feel bad. Turtle says, so now the Dems can protest in D.C. without fear of being mugged or murdered, but Orange Man bad. There's a new protest coming up on the 13th in Seattle, and I'm wondering what they're getting paid. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of paid, AstroTurf protests. There have been for years. It's going on for like 10 years. Turtle says, in Washington State, you can opt out of sex education for kids. Kindergarten and on. Well, I didn't know that. I'm surprised in Washington State you can. I thought they'd be absolutely forcing it on them. Because sex education now is just that you're born in the wrong body. Let's see. And, talk to the counselor for your puberty blockers. Trudeau Survivor says he can become trans if he really wants to be leader. And I forgot to read that, his rant. If he's not willing to chop off his dick, then he doesn't deserve to be NDP leader. Exactly. Let's see. Rosie says, ad read 11 out of 10. I believe that's almost the most out of 10 you can get. Great enthusiasm. Commie hate. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. All right, let's move on. Let's do memes. Let's see. Let me refresh this in case we got some new ones. All right. Had the guys install my new street sign. Fuck around straight, find out boulevard. Well, it's good they're warning people, so they know. Not here. Not on my watch. All right, what's this? You are not being tolerant. You're not being inclusive. You're not being open-minded. You're being conquered. Well, in cities where there's hundreds of mosques, there's no need to do this. In parks, in the middle of the road, on busy roads, in front of churches. When they do it in front of churches, I mean, that's the real giveaway. This is a display of force, a display of power, is what this is, that we are taking over. We are conquering you just simply through our numbers. And there are endless clips of imams in the Western world saying exactly that. We'll do this one more time. How one shoe can ruin a family photo. How could one shoe ruin an entire family photo? One misplaced shoe? Misplaced. Well, where could you put it? Where could you misplace a shoe that would ruin this? I mean, this is a fantastic, awesome family photo, but oh no. Worst family photo ever. They're laughing. I mean, did they plan it? I don't know. They might have. They might be a bunch of degenerates. That's what it comes down to. Let's see. What's going on here? Declaration of memes. Lawyer Andy. So I think I'm feeling a little bit of woke mind virus asserting itself here. The fact that gender studies graduates cannot land a decent job after college is a testimony to how much of a failure of a system that capitalism is. You have to be just genuinely retarded to think this. You have to be historically illiterate to believe this. Let's see. Alex Michael said, maybe, just maybe, someone who studies gender for 4 years and still can't tell the difference between men and women doesn't inspire confidence in employers. Why did you think that the gender studies degree was going to get you a decent job? That's really the question. Who told you that? Because they were lying. They were lying. And this is not evidence that capitalism is a failure as a system. Okay. It's evidence that it's successful, actually, because it's weeding out dysfunction, the useless, right? It's weeding out uselessness and dysfunction. Because everybody knows that I think at this point, most employers have kind of figured out anybody with like the genders, anything like that in their degree, probably not a great idea. They're just going to be endlessly complaining and carping revolutionary communists, because that's the thread that all of the critical studies, all of the demonstrations, all of the leftist stuff, the people in the streets, they're all Marxists. It's the thread that connects them all. I mean, I don't know. Let's say you wait in a bread line for 10 hours and get to the end and there's nothing left. And if there is, it's just gross and bland anyway. But you got gender studies. You got a gender studies job. So it's all worth it after all. A life of poverty and fear of the tyrannical communist government. But you got that gender studies job, whatever that possibly can be. So I guess it's worth it. Guess it's worth it. And you have to be, Lawyer Andy has to be completely historically illiterate. And after going through 4 years of gender studies, you would be. Let's see. When you make plans while you're in a good mood, but then the day comes and you would actually rather die. Oh, yeah, I'd love to go hiking next week. Oh, no. It's next week. Oh, no. Yeah, actually, that salsa dancing class sounds great. That'll be awesome. I'll see you there next weekend. Oh, no. Why did I agree to that? Oh, no. I'm going to say that I'm sick. I'm going to say that I have AIDS. That way I don't have to go. Yeah. Introverts will know. Yes, they will indeed. Let's move on. What's this? Only females can get pregnant. Source. Ugh, that's so gross. That's so gross. Actually, seahorses. We're not seahorses. We're nothing like seahorses. Completely different animals. They're not even mammals. Shut up about seahorses. We don't care. That doesn't even make any sense. Shut up. Shut up. Everybody through all of human history has known there's men and women. We're sexually reproducing, sexually dimorphic, men, women. That's it. Everybody in human history until 15 minutes ago knew this. Shut the fuck up. The source, you know what the source is? The source is all of human history and humans themselves. Humans are sexually reproducing, sexually dimorphic species. There's your fucking source. And shut up about the goddamn seahorses, you woke retard. Shut up, Commie. Commie gets nothing. Rosie says mute. You didn't mute my rant, did you? Because that was a beauty. Chef Rico says, I think gender studies is required to make great coffee. Why would you say something like that? In my chat, too. In my chat. All right. What are you guys talking about? Actually, let's get through the chat, and then let's get through the memes, and then we'll go back to the chat. All right, what's going on here? Seems about right. Declaration of memes. Vegans combining 5+ carcinogens and 10+ industrial chemicals to make food instead of just eating an egg. This is it. This is the thing. Those like Impossible Burgers, right? Apparently they've got something like 800 times the salt of like just normal food, just any normal food. It's just full of chemicals. Oh, this burger tastes exactly like beef and chemicals, I guess. Oh, it's so good. I'm saving the planet too, eating this, the most processed thing that's ever been created for human consumption. Oh, it's delicious. I'm feeling dizzy suddenly. That shit is just poison. It's just poison for human beings. You shouldn't eat it. I just find it mind-blowing. What a scam. It's just this mix. It's just basically chemicals. That fake meat, it's just a bunch of chemicals. What did they say here? 10+ industrial chemicals, 5+ carcinogens, and then 8,000 times your daily dose of salt. There we go. That's going to be a delicious hot dog. Not rubbery enough. What's going on here? Stop giving me your toughest battles. You literally just have to put down your phone once in a while. I remember the days when there were no smartphones. I remember the days when there were no flip phones or cell phones of any kinds. Well, no, they did have, I think, they had in the 80s, they did have those giant car phones that you could take around. And they weighed about 200 pounds. But it wasn't like today. You couldn't play, a video game or check your mail on them. So I remember those days, and it was normal. I think people were happier back then, I have to say. I mean, look, the internet is great, and you're never going to stop progress. And look, we're all taking advantage of the wonders of the internet and connectivity right now. And it's here, and we're making the best use of it that we can. And it is actually important in the age of news manipulation. But yeah, it was a simpler, more naive time, I would say, in a lot of ways, and a better time. And people just did stuff. I mean, everybody had like 30 phone numbers memorized in their head all the time, and that's all you needed. And then you'd find there were pay phones everywhere, and you just call people you needed to, right? I mean, the biggest technological advancement and convenience was just like a messaging machine at home. So you knew who called you while you were out. Yeah, it does come down to just putting the phone down once in a while, doesn't it? All right. Counterculture. Then, now, it really is true. And this isn't anything new here, this sentiment. Gavin McInnes was saying that conservatism was the new counterculture 10 years ago or longer ago. And it was true then, and it's true now as well. I mean, look, there's just a nice nuclear family, right? Hold on one second. I just want to pull something up for you. Hold on. Hold on. There we go. In Smithsonian race guidelines, rational thinking and hard work are white values. I've shown you this to you many times. The Smithsonian, okay? You don't get any more kind of establishment than that. Aspects and assumptions of whiteness and white culture. Let's see, family structure. The nuclear family, that's whiteness, therefore racist and white supremacy. Yeah, that's the establishment view now. When do you ever hear a leftist say anything positive about this? They don't. because it's whiteness. They might get canceled if they say something nice about the nuclear family. It's not equity. That's not equity. Therefore, it's bad, right? It's not dysfunctional. Therefore, it's bad. It's not, well, I should say it's not inherently dysfunctional, although, of course, there are dysfunctional families. But yeah, it's true. It's true. This is counterculture now, according to, our elites. When your child is absolutely ruthless, let's take a look. What is going to go on here? Let's take a look.
Hey, babe. Would you still love me if I was fat?
Yeah, of course. But Mom, you are fat.
But Mom, you are fat. It's his reaction there that really sells it. Sells it really hard. I think that this probably isn't like a setup. This probably isn't staged because, I mean, who would do that? I think that's genuine. Kids are honest. Kids tell the truth. It's great. Night shift ain't too bad. Okay, so we've already done this one. Do I have anything else here, though? Let's see. What's this say? Me increasing my carbon footprint so that New York sinks faster into the ocean. Oh, that's mean. That's mean. I mean, if Zoran Mamdani does become the commie mayor of New York City, I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt if it sank into the ocean. I mean, let's be honest about it. But, happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Let's see. I already did that one. Do we have another one? What was this? When you're dead, you don't know you're dead. The pain is felt by others. The same thing happens when you're stupid. That's true. Let's see. Johnny Kim, age 37, changed his career 3 times and has achieved becoming a Navy SEAL, trained Harvard doctor, and NASA astronaut. Wesley Chu says, my worst nightmare would be if Johnny's mom and mine are friends. Because of those Asian tiger moms is why. I wonder if this is why they're so successful. Why apparently the white supremacy doesn't affect them. The systemic racism doesn't affect Asian people for some reason. How could that be? Is that just some kind of fluke? Maybe it's culture. Maybe it's that their parents have high expectations of them, perhaps. Oh, who knows? Nobody will ever know. All we can say is that everything is racist. That's all we can say, apparently. Let's see. We've already seen that. We already saw that one. How about this one? Sarcasm doesn't get you anywhere. Me. Well, it got me to the Sarcasm World Championships in Peru in 98. Really? Me? No. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a really good one there. Let's see. All right, we've seen that one. We've seen that. I think we've seen all of these. Sometimes when I'm compiling these, they're actually from an earlier date, and then they just automatically get sorted in the back. All right. Done. Let's change this up. What do we got going on? How about this one? How about bouncy shot? Actually, you know what? I think... No, hold on. We haven't seen this for a while. Which was the one that doesn't get copyrighted? Was it this one or was it this one? I think this is the one that doesn't get copyrighted. Okay. I just want to see this. I want to check in with her and her many engines and her very complete engines because it's been a while. I just want to see if everything's still working out.
应景应景一应景应景 in my factory. If you need many 应景 you can find the bay. Don't hurt me. Don't lie to me.
Don't hurt her. Don't lie to her. She's just trying to sell you a very complete engine. Come on, people.
They are very complete. They are very pretty. They Many engine in my factory. What are you thinking? Why have you come to me? Please believe me.
I'm booking a ticket right now. I'll be there in, how long's the flight? I'll be there in 30 hours.
Please choose me. They are very complete. I hope you can take them. They are very complete. Many engine in my factory. What are you thinking?
You know, at first I was like, I don't know about this. But then once I found out those engines were very complete, that's when I got hooked. That's what hooked me. She's great. Love her. Let's see. This one here. This one, you know, it gets kind of a negative reaction sometimes. This one gets kind of a negative reaction sometimes. I don't know why. For some reason, the chat finds this particularly degenerate. So I don't know. I'm going to leave this up, and I'm just going to see what you guys have to say about it. He's got that. He's got this pulled, you know, tight up against his knees there. I think we know what's going on, people. Let's see. Rosie says, dirty, filthy, commie shoe. Those commie shoes are always ruining perfectly good family photos. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. All right. You guys are just talking about coffee. I'm going to skip past that. Rosie says, rant was excellent. A+, mute was a correction of a typo. Well, thank you. There's a bit of swearing in that one. So see, I save it up. Sometimes, you know, I like to try and keep it clean, work clean with the, you know, mother huggers. And, you know, and we'll throw in a little bit of
You lousy corksuckers.
Lousy cork suckers, that sort of thing. But then when it really matters, we hit them with it. We hit them with the F-bomb, Rosie. That's what we do. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, I feel bad for not appreciating the 90s more. Yep. I mean, I had an interesting, very busy 90s traveling, and I hitchhiked across Canada, and then I ended up getting married and having kids and all kinds of stuff. And let's see. Rosie says, now this is very interesting. I was in the park this morning. Woman was talking to her kids on the playground. Sounded just like Engine Woman. I had to leave the area, so I did not laugh and ask her about engines. Oh, go. I wish I had. It might have been her. This whole engine thing might be some sort of scam. Let's see. I don't think so, though. I believe her. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to hurt her feelings. Those engines are very complete. All right, let's move on. Now what we got going on? We're 2 hours already in. Wow. I was thinking in my head we're going to keep this one kind of shorter, but looks like maybe we're going 3 hours. I don't know. David Coletto. So what's happening in Canada? I think the honeymoon is ending for Mark Carney as people realize that he's a completely useless globalist, technocrat, central planning, central banker. I think that it's the sheen is starting to wear off him a little bit. And here's David Coletto, here's David Coletto, who's a pollster in Canada. The public opinion environment, as I see it right now, is complicated. Canadians are frustrated in the moment, but they aren't without hope. Well, I'm not without hope. I just think things are going to get much worse before they get better. They believe progress is possible, but they want government to make significant adjustments instead of nothing, instead of what they've gotten, which is nothing. In fact, counterproductive. Everything is being counterproductive on particularly on tariffs, but just on everything. Only 19% say we should stay the current course. Everyone else believes we need either big adjustments or a new approach. 19% say we should stay the current course. I think that's similar to what it was for Trudeau before he stepped down. So yeah, the honeymoon is definitely over. And we're seeing a correction in the polls, right? Here's the newest one from Angus Reid. There was an Abacus poll that came out a couple of weeks ago that had the CPC slightly ahead as well. But this one here, 40%, 38% for the Liberals, 40% for the Conservatives, 10% for the NDP. That means they're up 4 points. That means and that 4 points looks like it's come straight from the Liberals, because the Conservatives are holding pretty much steady with where they were at the election. You know, they were 41% election night. So things are turning around. And let's take a look here. David Coletto, 85% of Canadians say they're tired of hearing about Donald Trump. So that doesn't work forever. Elbows up, Orange Man Bad just doesn't work forever. As people wake up and say, okay, well, I guess it was fun pretending to be patriotic with the people who also tell us that we're a post-national country with no core identity, and like we're an illegitimate genocide state as well. Okay, it was fun pretending to be patriotic with those people who obviously hate the country, but okay, we need some results at some point, some actual results. Elbows up isn't enough. What they want, leaders laser focused on solving housing, healthcare, and rising costs. Yeah, maybe maybe Mark Carney shouldn't have just told everybody to go on vacation over the summer. I know that Pierre Poilievre said that nobody was getting a vacation until serious things were accomplished. Large majority of Canadians say they are tired of hearing about Donald Trump and want more focus on solving Canada's own challenges. Well, you see, that was the thing you see in the election, is that we had like better part of a decade of Liberal government, and we had a choice of just pragmatism and common sense and things that are just proven to work, or another term of the Liberals again, which is the exact same party but with a different face, led by a globalist bureaucrat. So yeah, I guess made the wrong choice there. Very tired. Are you tired of hearing about Trump when Canada's own challenges need fixing? Very tired. 40%. Yes, somewhat. That's 85%. So I don't know. All of these people who voted for Mark Carney, I mean, you did vote for this. You voted for the elbows up Orange Man Bad Party. That's what you voted for, and you did it enthusiastically. We saw you in those lineups, waiting to go into the rallies, doing your chicken dances, holding your copy of Values by Mark Carney. So you did vote for it, right? And I guess you get what you deserve. Unfortunately, a bunch of people who didn't vote for it are getting what they don't deserve in the bargain. So, but now I guess it's just simply a matter of, as depressing as it is, a waiting game until we can get a functional government in place. And we're not sure when that will be, hopefully sooner than later, but all right, let's move on. The UK, something has awakened in the UK. Let's see. Matt Casey, we've been told and made to feel ashamed of being British for too long now. It's brilliant to see us reject this shit. The most welcoming country in the world has had enough of being shat on by racist bigots and professional victims. And by the way, the British Empire was actually great. I think it's the greatest empire in history. It did the most good. It was actually a genuinely benevolent empire that ended slavery in 25% of the world, by the way. So there you go.
Feel my soul. Can't stop me now.
I've got to turn off that music. You guys know why. Look at that. It's heartening. It's heartening. I prefer it to terrorist flags. The flags of terrorists who hate them. Look at this here. They're just putting up Keir Starmer is a wanker. There's just kids, young girls, they're putting that up. Oh, that's heartening. God, that's good. That's nice. West Boulevard, Birmingham, flies flags to unite English, Scottish, Irish, and Welsh communities. Now, I believe Birmingham is actually a minority British town now, like London. These views are unprecedented. Britain is uniting. Let's take a look. No, can't play the music. All right, but let's watch. And these are just people putting these up. This isn't the government. The government doesn't want them put up. Government is trying to take them down everywhere as fast as they can put them up. So this terrifies the government, the Labour government. I imagine it probably terrifies the Conservatives too, because the Conservatives are just as much traitors to the British people as the Labour Party is. I mean, they campaigned on cutting immigration every single election, and the British people gave them 14 years of that before they just went, well, we just can't trust you anymore. You obviously hate us. You gave us the Boris wave and just the millions and millions of people that we didn't want to. We made it very clear we did not want. Look at this. But, it's going to be very difficult because their government has been the Labour government was elected, and it's just a bunch of people who apparently hate the UK. New Home Secretary of the UK, Shabana Mahmood. The people you see holding the English flag most of the time down my neck of the woods will be EDL. Okay. The new Home Secretary of the UK, Shabana Mahmood. I wonder if she's got good intentions. Let's see.
The people that you see holding the English flag most of the time down my neck of the woods will be the EDL, and they are white and they are male.
EDL hasn't been a thing for 10, 15 years. I think around 15 years now. They're not even a thing anymore. They're just a fiction of our imagination at this point. And they are white and they are male. Where are you? Where are you? Are you in Pakistan? Are you in Bangladesh? Where are you exactly? Are you on the British Isles right now? Are you in England right now? White and male, huh? None of that should not be shocking to you.
And they're bad people, and they want to divide our communities from one another. The people that you see.
Yet the communities segregate themselves. Don't blame it on just the indigenous people of England. I find this stuff, I find it actually just kind of evil, I have to say. Like, I find it shockingly, what's the word? What's the exact, I just want to be precise here. I find it shockingly cynical and ungrateful. They hate this country. They hate our flag. They hate our people. What else do you walk away from with that? From Tommy Robinson, new Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood's first full day in office. Over 1,000 illegal immigrants are chaperoned into the UK by those paid to protect Britain's borders. All unvetted and will be housed, taken to hotels across the country, all paid for by the taxpayer. Why? Why? They're not supposed to be there. Nobody wants them. Why? It's a war against the British. It's a war against the English. It's a war against the UK. That's what this is, by their own government, by successive governments. And that's including the Conservative government. It turns out wasn't so conservative after all, huh? It must just infuriate infuriate the people. I guess the same way that people were infuriated when they saw those caravans going to the U.S. border and being helped by NGOs, and when they found out that Biden was actually using an app to register people to fly them into the United States. People who shouldn't be there. Unbelievable. Maybe we'll save this one for tomorrow, actually. Hold on. So I don't want to spend too much time there. Let's go back to the chat for a second. One other thing is that I want to show. I want to keep remembering to do this. We're not going to do this forever, but for now, I just started up a second channel on YouTube. There's going to be a bunch of content that you won't get on the main channel. There's going to be content that was on the original channel that's going to be on this channel now. So world news like this UK stuff, that's all going to go here. I think most of the US news is going to go here. The meme reviews is going to go here. The woke mind virus stuff, I think it's all going to go over here, most of it. So I just started it up 4 days ago. Yeah, sign up and you're going to miss a ton of content if you don't, and a bunch of different stuff. I think the main channel is going to be for the original channel I've had for 5 years. Got 13,000 subscribers on it. That's going to be for live streams, like right now, what you're watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, and for Canadian news. And then I think pretty much everything else is going to go Radio Baloney News, this new channel. Go and subscribe to it right now, and then watch all the videos there and like them. It's going to be super fun. You're going to feel like you've accomplished something. It's awesome. Now, wherever you are right now, like on Rumble, don't worry. There's no two channels. There's one channel. Everything's going there. In fact, there's going to be more than ever, because everything from both those YouTube channels, and I'm going to have to make extra content to populate both of them, that's all going on the Radio Baloney channel on Rumble. So don't you worry about that. It's just a YouTube thing. Everybody subscribe. Everybody like the stream. Everybody send me your life savings. No, I'm just kidding about that. If you want to send me some money, that's fine. Also, memberships is really the best way you can help out the channel. Channel memberships, whether that's on YouTube or on Rumble, that's really, it's the best way to help out the channel. I love that. It's the best thing. Nature's greatest miracle. You're a wonderful person if you do it. Also, like the stream. Get your free good karma. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go to the chat. Let's see. Chef Rico says, yeah, September 13th is supposed to be a big pro-UK parade. So let's see how that goes, and let's see how the authorities deal with it. I wouldn't be surprised if the Labour government had them just set up like machine gun nests or something at this point. They hate their people so much. Let's see. All right. Trudeau Survivor says the goal is to keep everyone poor, drive up cost of living, food, rent, drive down wages, subsistence living. Well, I'll tell you what. If that's what you wanted to do, you do exactly what they are doing. When you read Mark Carney's book, it's clear that he doesn't think much of the regular person. For one thing, the book is called Values, right? And throughout that book, he talks about our values. He's talking about his values. He's just pretending that his values are everybody's values. It's obviously he thinks that his values should be everybody's, and he's going to decide what everybody's values are. It couldn't be any more of a central planner globalist vision. He's made it clear. Anybody who just read the first chapter, you should be terrified by this man. Yeah, Canada is an ant colony to him, right? It's going to be his net zero laboratory, and he does not care. He does not care what it does to the people. Let's see. Chef Rico says the hairdresser has good birthing hips. Trust it to Chef Rico to notice that. Rosie says, too bad she cannot afford underpants. That would ruin it. She may end up with more children than she can afford. Probably doesn't make that much matter. Probably doesn't make that much money, but probably more than your typical hairdresser, I'm going to say. Let's see. What's going on? All right. Let's move on. 2 hours and 16 minutes. That's crazy. So what's going on here? So here is Mark Carney with his popularity starting to decline. So he's having to respond with all of the horrible crimes that are happening in Canada, the terrible things that are happening to children and the home invaders and, executions of people at home in the middle of the night. He's having to respond to this because people recognize that the Liberal Party catch and release laws, it's really equity. Call it what it is. It's equity laws. He's starting to realize that people are not, people don't feel safe, and they think that their government doesn't care about them, and they care more about the criminals, which of course it does. So he has to respond. So let's hear a bunch of things that are never going to happen.
This government is committed to reforming the criminal code to ensure that organized crime, gang crime, crime with handguns, home invasions, auto theft, that the individuals who participate in those crimes pay the price they should with consecutive sentencing, that they are not in a position where they commit a crime one day and they're arrested and then out on bail the next. So bail reform being at the heart of it. We're committed to having more officers at our border, 1,000 more border agents, more RCMP, committed to working more closely with the provinces. And I'll give you a specific example with respect to the last. We've been working with the Council of Federation, all the provinces, on bail reform. We will be legislating on that. We're proposing legislation, I should say, to the House on that next month. I met with Premier Ford this morning as part of an ongoing conversation about how we can address these issues, what the federal government needs to do on the criminal code. I agree with Premier Ford on these issues, and that's why we're moving on them. What the province and the municipality can do in terms of policing more effectively. So we're working very close.
None of that's going to happen. The Liberals are now a progressive party. They're not a liberal party anymore. They're not a centrist party anymore. Trudeau remade the party and everybody in it into his own image. It is now a radical progressive party. And what Canadians are witnessing on their streets and even in their homes when they are violated by criminals is equity. And equity is progressive. So none of what he's saying is going to happen. They're going to sell us a bill that doesn't do what they say it's going to do, but it's also going to be a Trojan horse for the Online Harms Act that Trudeau tried to push through. The most dystopian bill I think I've ever seen in a Western country, or close to it anyway. We've seen some pretty bad ones in Ireland and in the UK and Europe. This one might be even more dystopian because it has pre-crime. So you can be punished for crimes you haven't actually done, but some activist judge decides you might do in the future. That's just one part of it. Now, this bill did not get passed because Justin Trudeau prorogued Parliament, which means all of the legislation goes in the scrap heap, and then you have to reintroduce it again once Parliament is in session. So he is going to use his lies about reforming criminal justice in Canada to piggyback onto it this Online Harms Act, Bill C-63. And here we have from the Justice Center for Constitutional Freedom. The Justice Center for Constitutional Freedoms. They say this about the Online Harms Act. The Online Harms Act threatens freedom of expression in Canada. Say no to censorship by signing our petition. What will this bill do? And by the way, I've made a video going through the bill itself and proving to you that the dystopian powers provided in are real, and the government really wants to be able to do these things to its citizens. You can find that. You can find that on either the Rumble or the YouTube channel, the original YouTube channel. Just type in Online Harms Act, Radio Baloney, Online Harms Act. You should be able to find it. But what does it do? No Canadian should face an anonymous human rights complaint for what they have said. Yes, so in the Online Harms Act, as just anybody can make an anonymous claim about you. You'll never know who made the claim. This will go to one of the human rights tribunals, which is a Canadian kangaroo court run by far leftist activists. So there's no kind of standards of evidence. There's no assumption of innocence. None of that. It's just a kangaroo court. The government will pay for the government will pay for your persecution, right? You'll have to defend yourself. And there will be $20,000 fines, $20,000 settlements for the anonymous person who complained about something you said on the internet. And then the government will reach in for another $50,000 out of your pocket, of course. And if you end up in the kangaroo court, they have about a 98% conviction rate. So, yeah, you're going to lose. It's not about fairness or justice, any of that. No. These are ideological kangaroo courts. These are star chambers. No Canadian should be hauled before a court or punished merely because somebody fears they will say something hateful. This is the pre-crime part. A year of house arrest with a bunch of serious restrictions against what you can do. Can you go online? You can't drink. You can't smoke a doobie, which is legal in Canada, right? Who you can talk to. Not for something you've done, because some activist judge thinks you might do a hate online. Genuinely shocking, right? No Canadian should face life imprisonment for their expression. That's right, life in prison for online hate speech as well. Crazy. Canadians' online expression should not be censored unless it violates the criminal code. So they're going to push this through. They're going to try and push this through. Whether or not they will be able to, I don't know, but they're going to try and push it through. I guarantee you, this is the opportunity. The liberal crime spree across Canada, they're going to use that as their excuse to pass this totally dystopian Orwellian bill to oppress Canadians, to persecute Canadians who accurately describe reality. So yeah, not great. Not great, I guess, right? This is why I was so distraught at the results of the election, because this is what's on the line now. This guy, this central planner, this guy who sees you as an ant, at best as a number on a spreadsheet. Do you think this guy cares about your rights? He doesn't. He's a radical progressive. He's a central planner. This is a man who's never had a bad word to say about Marx, and he's talked about Marx. This is why I was distraught, because this is what's on the line. So he's going to be keeping the carbon industrial tax. Maybe, while Canada is losing jobs at a rapid pace, and we have businesses moving down to the United States to get away from the draconian taxes, including carbon taxes and regulations of the Canadian government. Maybe it's a good idea just to say, I don't know, the U.S. doesn't have any of these carbon taxes, and maybe we shouldn't either. Maybe this is just an unfair burden. And also, too, I mean, we do have to admit that it doesn't change the global climate. Carbon taxes have not changed the global climate one bit. And in fact, they can't. They never will. This is just a giant boondoggle, a way to steal money from Canadians, which seems relevant to me.
Bonjour, Monsieur le Premier ministre, Valérie Gavin, de Radio-Canada. You're dropping today the EV measure and the carbon tax. At the same time, you've got MPs implementing a green caucus. How will you rally Canadians and these MP? And are you afraid that Canadians are abandoning climate change measures? Thank you for your question. It's the position of the Canadian government to fight climate change. It's a moral obligation, but at the same time, it's a trade imperative. It's an imperative to remain competitive.
That's a lie. It's just a lie. Who are we competing with? China, India, United States, yeah, no carbon thing. Even in Europe, they're dropping the heavy industry carbon taxes, and I'm sure there'll be more to follow because their economies are contracting, and the EU is a basket case, right? That's rapidly industrializing because of net zero, the net zero that Mark Carney supports. So competing with who exactly?
Right now, what we're doing is putting the focus on the competitiveness of our businesses and of our workers when it comes to the reduction of GHG emissions, for example. We already have, and in future we will strengthen tax credits. The idea being to spur more investment in clean energies. Secondly, we will be keeping the carbon industrial tax, and we need to improve the...
So the carbon tax they were talking about at the beginning was the consumer carbon tax, which was dropped. It's not been removed. It just dropped down to zero. And that actually happened a while ago. But it's still there. That's still a part of Canadian law that can be ramped up at any time. But let's continue.
The operation of those markets. As I just said before, there will be a competitiveness strategy and policy in carbon taxation, at the same time, a nature strategy. So we will be doing a lot and focusing on the outcome. The outcome meaning the competitiveness of our economy and our businesses as
just a word salad that doesn't mean anything. You're keeping the industrial carbon tax. Let's see. I wonder what's going to happen with that Trump south of the border saying, come down here, set up your headquarters, set up down your manufacturing down here. It's going to be way easier, way lower taxes, way less regulation. I'm going to roll out the red carpet and make it easy for you. Come down here to my loving arms. What a mistake we've made. Does the U.S. have an industrial carbon tax? No. Who are we competing with exactly? It seems like we're helping other countries out-compete us. How does keeping an extra tax do anything other than punish Canadians? Well, I don't think it does. I don't think it does do anything else, does it? All right. What else we got here? Yeah, and I've done videos on dropping the EV mandate. Well, it's paused. That's the thing. They're not dropping it. They're pausing it for 2026. It's still there. All right, let's move on. Let's see. So, what does Pierre Poilievre have to say about the mess that we're in right now? Let's see. He's talking here about the $1 billion China ferry contract. I thought Mark Carney was all about doing it. Canada. What were his exact words there? We can do more for ourselves. Yeah, Mark Carney says Canada can do more for itself than any other country can actually. Mark Carney said Canada can do more for itself than any other country could do for us, except China, and we're going to give them $1 billion to build our ferries, even though Canadian companies could do that and do a better job. None of it makes sense. Nothing is making sense in Canada now. What does Pierre Poilievre have to say about all of this? I bet he doesn't support it. Let's see.
These EVs and hope that China might remove tariffs on the canola sector. If it was up to you, would you do the same thing?
No, I don't believe that is the right way to go. I think that, first of all, China wants these electric vehicles to be roving surveillance operations on our streets. And in 10 years, God forbid, there's a conflict, and then there's millions of those vehicles surveilling our population in our streets. That would be a strategic problem for our country. So I respect Scott Moe. He's a great premier. I just respectfully disagree with this point. What I would do instead is I would cancel the $1 billion loan the Liberals are giving under Mark Carney to buy Chinese-made ships. I would say to the dictators in Beijing, you are not going to be selling $1 billion of ships to our country when you are unlawfully and unfairly targeting our canola producers with tariffs.
These EVs.
So what Pierre Poilievre was talking about there at the beginning with the Chinese EVs is that the Canadian government has 100% tariffs on Chinese EVs, and this is to protect our basically totally failed EV industry in Canada. And in retaliation, China put massive, like 100% tariffs on Canadian agricultural products like canola oil, canola seed, which is big in Saskatchewan. Scott Moe is the premier of Saskatchewan. So he's suggesting that maybe they do something about these EV tariffs so that all their farmers don't go bankrupt. I don't want a bunch of Chinese EVs driving around surveilling everybody. I would say we definitely should not be giving a $1 billion ferry contract to China. That's just insane. Why would we do that? Are we crazy? Apparently. I don't know. It seems like Carney for some reason, Carney likes the country. I'm talking about China. For some reason, Carney likes the country that has interfered to the benefit of liberals in every election since 2019, at least. So, yeah, for some reason, he likes the country that interfered in the last election to his benefit. For some reason, I can't really figure it out. I don't know what the motivation would be, what kind of connection there is there. Oh, well. All right. Let's get back to the chat for a second. And maybe we should be doing an ad read. Maybe we should. Maybe it's time. What kind of fun ad should we do? Let's see. I think I want to do one of those Westwood One ads. I'm having a good time with those. Is there one of those in here for me? Let's see. No, there's no Westwood One. What? Let's see. No, there's not. What a bummer. How about this one? This is like a Chuck Norris one. This looks awesome. I do have to follow the exact script though, so I'll do my best. Hey, you. There's this video. It's from Chuck Norris. Yeah, it was insane. He's in his 80s, and he says he still feels like he's in his 50s. It was pretty shocking. He had some pretty cool tips in there, too, on what he's doing, including these 3 foods he avoids like the plague because he's Chuck Norris. He explained all the things he was doing, and it was super simple. They're so easy, and you can do them right at home. When I first saw this, I knew I had to share this with you all. Since what happened to Chuck could also happen for you too, but with any new method, of course, your results can vary. But the video is definitely worth checking it out. Watch this method now by clicking the link in the chat or scanning the QR code on your screen. You won't believe how simple it is. Chuck Norris. That's the first Chuck Norris ad I've ever read. That was fun. It was written a bit weird in the script there, so it kind of tripped me up. But anyway, it's Chuck Norris. Hey, it's an honor, right? What the hell are you people talking about? Let's see. Let's see. Trudeau's survivor says Melanie Joly is Canada's Minister of Industry. Doesn't she look like someone who knows everything about everything across all industries? She was the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It used to be called Foreign Affairs. Now it's called the Foreign Ministry. I don't know. They changed everything. She's been useless at everything. She's been completely useless at everything. Minister of Industry, she knows nothing. She knows nothing about anything. Why is she still there? Let's see what else is going on. JJ Nevada says, how you doing, JJ? Old Milwaukee tastes as bad as its name. I think I drank some of that in my day. Let's see. You get what you pay for, Shifrigo says. Well, yeah, it is cheap, isn't it? Freedom Butterfly says, Mark Carney. Well, I got to say it right. Mark Carney is asshole. He certainly is. Salient point there, Freedom Butterfly. Nevada says, talking about Jolie reminds me of Kamala Tard, who did something naughty on her way to the top. Well, Kamala did, though. That's the thing. We know she did. With that mayor, we know what happened. Let's see. Izzy says, our politicians have sold us out. Yes. And we stupidly gave them yet another term. It's unbelievable. Looks like people are starting to wake up, though, and go, wait a second. This whole thing was a scam. That elbows up thing was a scam. Chef Rigo says, oh my, I think I'm in love. I need a haircut. I don't know where she is, but make sure you tip her. Radio Streamer says, boo, no anti-commie sentiment. The instructions were to read it verbatim, to not elaborate or go off on in any way. So I had to do it. 7.8 out of 10. Well, I know it was a poor reading, but it was like, it's Chuck Norris, so awesome, but it wasn't written very clearly in the text for me to read. So, I struggled a little bit. But 7.8 out of 10, that's going to be the lowest I've had ever, probably. Needs more commie hate. I couldn't. Explicitly, they told me not. Would Chuck Norris even mind, though? He wouldn't mind. He'd be fine with that. In fact, he'd celebrate it. Got to keep him humble, chat. That's what well, you know what? You do. I was getting a big head there. Nevada says, more commie hate. There's been lots of commie hate in this stream. Just the whole thing, by the way. Let's see. Spambot says, look up, Richie, poverty cause listed. What's that mean? Is there something I'm supposed to check up back in the chat? Let's see. I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything. Oh, here we go. Spambot fodder. Having children you cannot afford is the number one cause of poverty in Canada and the USA. Well, it is, but I think it's overstated. Like, although, but it's different now. I'm still thinking like pre-Trudeau sometimes, when Canada was a different country, when like young people could get married and like still buy a home, maybe not a mansion. And they did, but a little place that had a yard in the back, and maybe it wasn't the nicest place, but they could do it. It was doable. You didn't have to live a 4-hour commute from work. It was doable before Trudeau. It was getting more expensive, yes, but they wouldn't have ballooned and gone insane and prices doubled the way they have if we hadn't had Trudeau in those years. So I'm still thinking that way. Yeah, now, like, are you gonna get married and live in, somebody's basement, somebody's parents' basement, and raise a family there? Yeah, it is different now. Used to be, I think it was overstated. How much money you needed. I mean, I was poor when I had my kids. I was really poor. I was working in like a department store. I didn't have any money, but you made it work. I mean, you're supposed to be poor when you're like in your early 20s, right? So, but yeah, I mean, you're not lying. And these days, like particularly these days, Let's see. So, I mean, yeah, Spambot's right. JDL, how you doing? Radio streamer, how are you? Although I think I saw you in there earlier. Let's see. Let's see. Rosie says, ad review, great read for all the limitations. Still no idea what the ad is for, even after following the link. It's for a Chuck Norris video. And then you can get like all the good foods that he eats. 5 out of 10 for the ad, 9 out of 10 for the ad read. Well, thank you. That's very kind. Very kind. Spambot says, I did find it for you there. Yeah. Let's see. See, the reason I was able to find Spambot's chat there was because he's a member and it's highlighted. So everybody should do that. Let's see. Nevada says, my parents were broke and renting when they had us kids. Thing is, it is different now. Like, it is a different country, right? We went from being a country where young people, sure, it was not easy, but it was doable, to now just not doable. Unless your family is wealthy, not doable. Nevada says, most young parents are poor until their 30s at least. I was super broke until my 30s. All right. Amazing Faces, how you doing? All right. Well, let's keep going. What do we got now? We did Pierre. There's one video there. Let's go down. What's this one here? Oh, yeah. So there's been this leaked fast track shortlist for a pipeline. All the things that the Liberals going to do. A fast track list was leaked. Somehow it got leaked to the media. All the things that the Carney government's going to do. Pierre has asked about it here, and let's hear his take on this super real list.
Okay, so to be clear, what is this list? Is this the list of things he's going to build? Is this the list of that this office is reviewing? What is this list? It's a dream list. We can't even. So what he said and what he's leaked to the Globe is that somebody put together a list of projects that some people who are not in the government would like to see built, that one day Mark Carney's future office will examine and consider possibly deciding on. That's what we're dealing with here. So despite the blazing headlines about a list, what this is a dream list that does not exist anywhere in reality. Mr. Carney, on the question of a pipeline to the Pacific, of course I support it. If I'd been elected prime minister on April 28th, construction would be underway right now on that project. And if you question that, I'll tell you how. We already had an approved project to go from Hardisty, Alberta to Kitimat. The route, the pathway is already there. 80% of First Nations already endorsed the project. Why not get building? What's there to study? We already know that there's 2 billion people in Asia that want to buy that energy. So it's a no-brainer, and it would have been under construction today. Well, it would have been under construction 10 years ago had Trudeau not killed it, and it would be under construction if I had been chosen. Of course, this was the subject of a very big disagreement Mr. Carney and I had at the industry committee before we were both leaders. We had a big debate about it. He said he was against the Northern Gateway pipeline. I said I was for. And he was simultaneously having his company invested in pipelines in Brazil and the Middle East at the time, but not wanting to build one in Canada. That's the difference. I want to build stuff here in this country.
Yeah, and that there's actually that I have that video somewhere. I wonder if somebody popped it in the comments here. Maybe if when I clip this, maybe I'll just stick that into the clipped version of it. So I don't want to go looking for it right now. But yeah, so the Liberal strategy so far, hold on. So the Liberal strategy so far has been to just make a bunch of insincere promises to gullible voters. And now that the polls are going the wrong way and the honeymoon is definitely over, well, here's a new tactic. We'll leak a wish list of things Canadians would want, but aren't actually, pardon me, but aren't actually going to happen. We'll leak that to the press, and maybe that'll tide them over for a little bit longer. Eventually, this is all going to come crashing down, right? Net zero Carney is not going to, he's not in favor. He doesn't want, he's on record in the past of being against any project that would make money for Canada, that would pay for, like, I don't know, healthcare, that sort of thing, right? Windmills ain't going to do it. Mark Carney became prime minister to affect his net zero agenda and to funnel Canadian funds to rack up, to break the Canadian national credit card, right? To extract every penny from Canada, to extract every penny from Canadian industry, from Canadian businesses, from Canadian citizens, to subsidize a bunch of green boondoggles in pursuit of his net zero dream. This has been what he's been obsessed with for a couple of decades now. He was the UN climate envoy. He was the GFANZ, the Glasgow Financial Net Zero Alliance, or the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero. This is his work. His book, Values, didn't come out 10 years ago. It came out 3 years ago. He hasn't changed his mind on any of this. And Canadians are starting to, people who voted for him are starting to wake up to it. So now here's the new thing. Well, we'll leak this so people will think we really are planning to do all this stuff. No. The plan is to max out the national credit card, to use Canada as his net zero laboratory. Mark my words on this. That's what's happening. All right. Do we have anything else? Well, I think that's it for there. All right. So now we're on the last tab of the evening. Very nice. I'm going to take 1 second to say, anybody watching on YouTube right now, I've started a second channel. Just started it up 4 days ago. A bunch of content from the main channel, the main YouTube channel. It's just Radio Baloney. This one's Radio Baloney News. A bunch of stuff from the normal channel, which is, if you're watching the stream right now, that's the channel you're watching it on. Subscribe to this second one, Radio Baloney News. A bunch of content is going to be going on here that won't be on the original channel, the main channel anymore. So like meme reviews and like world news, US news, that stuff's all going to be going on the new channel, Radio Baloney News. So please subscribe over there and go watch the stuff and like everything, and it'll be awesome. For Rumble, nobody worry. Everything's going to go on the same channel there. No changes there. There'll just be even more content. Everybody subscribe to the channel. It's a beautiful thing. Everybody agrees. And also like the stream. Liking the stream gets you free karma from me. And in these troubled times, folks, I mean, you got to turn your back on that. Like the stream right now, wherever you are. Of course, you're going to do that. Why wouldn't you do that? Are you crazy? You're not crazy. What are you saying in the chat, though? Let's see. Spambot says windmills are like strippers. They stop working when you stop throwing money at them. That's a good one. I've not seen that one before. That's a good one. That almost gave me a stitch, though. Thank God it didn't. They stop working when you stop throwing money at them. Yeah. It's funny because it's true. Rosie says kids cost a lot, but are worth the time, energy, work, and money. It's true. And there's kind of like a simple beauty in being poor and having young children and working your way out of that. But Spambot is correct, though. He is correct, though, especially now with the way this country's changed and how much less of the pie everybody gets because of liberal policies and equity. Let's see. Chef Rico stealing that from you, Spambot, so you've been warned. Let's see. JDL, John Kerry, same thing. Chef Rico says, John Kerry's, it's not my jet, it's my wife's. Blow me. He said that, didn't he? It's not my shit. It's my wife's shit. So, I'm not wrecking the planet like I'm saying other people are doing. Crazy. Crazy. We've all lost our minds. We're all lost our minds. Why isn't this every single hair place? Barbershop. This should be it. All right. What are we? Almost 3 hours in. We'll probably save a few of these things for the premium only stream tomorrow. What do you say, you guys? What do you guys say tomorrow for the premium only stream? What do you say we just have like a hangout? We'll have a few things I saved from here. There's a couple of things I can't show in the regular streams anyway. And then we'll just kind of go through random stuff. You guys can whatever crazy freaking conspiracy theories you guys are into, we can dig into those a little bit. Just have a hangout. Have a great time, have a good time. What do you think? It'll just be on Rumble. It's just for the Rumble Premium people. And we'll probably do, a couple hours. Maybe we'll just have a hang. Think of stuff you guys want to talk about, stuff you want to look into and stuff for tomorrow. We'll do that. Let's see. Heartwarming dog story with a happy ending. Well, thank God. If it had a sad ending, I wouldn't show it because it's supposed to be a palate cleanser. Make us feel good after all the terrible news. 62-year-old woman actually registered her dog to vote and mailed in ballots. And it's saying, well, that's not that's not a happy ending. What happened? Okay, let's watch this. What is she talking about?
A woman is accused of registering her dog to vote and then casting mail-in ballots. Prosecutors say 62-year-old Laura Lee Yorex used her dog Maya to vote in the 2021 recall election. A 2022 ballot was rejected, but investigators found social posts showing the ballot and an I voted sticker. She now faces 5 felonies and up to 6 years in prison. A woman is accused of registering her dog to vote and then casting mail-in ballots. Prosecutors say 62-year-old Laura Lee Yorex used her dog Maya to vote in the 2021 recall election.
Sorry, I was looking at my phone there. There's I heard a bunch of beeps during the stream, so I was getting some text messages. So it does have a happy ending, facing up to 6 years if convicted. So at first I thought, how is that got a happy ending? Somebody used her dog to vote illegally, to commit election fraud, but no, it did have a happy ending. She's facing 6 years if convicted, so there you go. All right, next. Ottawa, how you doing? Good to see you. Voter fraud must be a lefty. Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, that was not a Republican dog either, so she betrayed her dog. Sorry, that was not a Democrat dog. That's a Republican dog right there. So she betrayed her dog. Dog's probably furious at her. Let's see. Chef Rico says, would be funny if the dog signed it with a paw print. That's good. Trader Driver says 6 years, 6 dog years. Oh, dog years. I see what you did. 6 in dog years. Well, that would be like a really long time, right? Because that's like 6 times 7. That'd be a long time. She'll get 6 weeks of probation, as he says. Well, where is it? Where is it? Right to vote. Where was it? It was in. Does it say where it was? I guess it depends where it was. Well, it is a felony, though, right? So I don't know. It doesn't say. Does it say? No, it doesn't say. All right. Anyway. We'll save that one for tomorrow. I have to think too much about that. As they say in England, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. I guess now, and I guess how many generations is it going to take until it's part of the caliphate? I don't know, what's it, like 30 years? There'll be a caliphate, something like that. Yeah, I think sadly that is probably the fate, that it's going to be an Allahu Akbar country. The 2 words you never want to hear on a plane, on a bus, or just out in public anywhere. Because of the whole explodey thing or stabby thing. Let's see. This one we're going to save for tomorrow because I really want to, and I promise we are going to get to these ones tomorrow, the premium stream. But I want to be able to think clear. I want to talk good. When the cat lets the mouse move around all over him, that's kind of I think kind of an uncommon thing. Cats normally like that. He's using the cat as a mouse pad. So I don't know. He seems pretty happy. I guess he likes it. You don't think he drugged the cat to make this video, do you? Nobody would do that, would they? Nobody would do that. I hope not. Be a monster if you did. All right. Now I can't handle the Zohrani Mom Donnie for president, people. No, I can't handle it tonight. This one here is who remember those Sarah McLachlan Sad Animal commercials? This one needs to have the music. So we will definitely save this one for tomorrow because I can't do the music tonight because of copyright stuff. We'll do it tomorrow because you have to have the music for that. So dog goes full heist mode. Cat says, "Not on my watch." This cat totally betrayed him. See, the dog, he's just good natured. He thinks they're pals. The cat, nope, he has no friends. I'll turn off the music. So he's moving the camera. There's food on that table. Let's go back, actually, so I can just see there's food there. There's food there. The dog knows where the camera is. Apparently, the dog understands what the camera's purpose is. Can it really? Does it really understand? I don't know. It's kind of strange because he moves the camera and then goes over to eat the food. The cat takes a look, says, "Not on my watch. We're not friends. I want you to know we are not friends. You think we're friends, but we're not friends." That cat totally betrayed him. And he never saw it coming either. Because he's good-natured. He's a good boy. God damn it, cats. So I don't have a cat. I can't trust them. This is kind of amazing. Blink and she's someone else. Mario Nawfall. I think you guys sent me this. One of you guys sent me this, I think. This is pretty amazing, actually. Let's watch it. I'm going to turn off the music. Can't have the music. You don't need it anyway. It's really, really cool. Watch this. How do they do that? It's pretty amazing, but also you couldn't read the menu because you can't read Cantonese, so you just pointed to something randomly. That was that stir-fried dog. How do they do that? That's pretty good. It's magic. That is really impressive, I've got to say. Is it AI? No, I don't think so. It looks like it's real. These people are freaking out. Anyway, pretty cool. Let's see. All right. Let's see. What is this? Leaked CNN audio. We'll save that for tomorrow. And Douglas Murray. Douglas Murray. So I've decided to pick a side in the Israel-Gaza thing. The people that are all over every Western city in mobs waving terrorist flags, in Canada screaming at death to Canada, death to Israel, death to the U.S. You know, when you do like man on the street interviews with them, it turns out it's a lot of it's just about they don't like capitalism and they call Canada a colonialist genocide state and all of this nonsense. I'm with the people they're against. So who they're against, I'm with. So now I'm officially picking a side. I'm with Israel now, just because I hate the Hamasniks. I don't like them. I don't like I don't like the public displays of power, the public displays of dominance, like praying in the middle of the street, praying in front of churches. I'm not a fan of any of this. Right? I'm not a fan of their death to Canada chants. I'm not a fan of any of it. So if this is what those people are for, then I'm against them. I'm for the people who are against them. So I'm just coming out and just making that public now. Here's Douglas Murray. Let's hear what he has to say about two-state solution.
There is no two-state solution on the table anymore. Hamas destroyed it on October the 7th, 2023, because the Palestinians were given a de facto state in 2005 when not only every Jew, every Jewish body was removed from the Gaza. And they had 18 years. 18 years, the life of a child to the end of their formal education. They had 18 years. And what did they do with it? Rockets, war, stealing of vast amounts of wealth. And then October the 7th. So anyone who thinks that if you give them another go, everything will be right, is demonstrating, signaling, blaring out their ignorance.
Read the Hamas Charter. In fact, I made a video about it, which you can find on my channel. Just type in Radio Baloney, Hamas Charter. I'm sure it'll come up. If not on YouTube, it'll come up on Rumble, I'm sure. The Charter is explicitly genocidal, right? It's one big, long Allahu Akbar. So that's the first thing everybody should look at if they're interested in that conflict. Look at that. I mean, they make it very, very clear. And the leadership says it's going to be, you know, that October 7th over and over and over and over and over again until they've gotten rid of every single Jew. So, I mean, there's that, right? There's that. I mean, that's the reality of what Hamas is and their intent. And let's not forget, after Hamas, you know, breached the wall into Israel so they could go in and slaughter all those people in those little towns, Palestinians, just civilian Palestinians, poured through to go and loot. So these are all things that are real. And I don't know, I'm not with the people who are running around screaming death to Canada. So I don't like that. I think if they want to scream death to Canada, they should be forced to go somewhere else to do that. We don't want them to do it in Canada. Why would we bring them here? Why would we bring them here? I preferred Canada when Gaza wasn't in it. All right, this one too we'll do tomorrow. And where are we? World first, global birth rate overtaken by amount of people becoming DJs. Uh-oh. Scientists are warning us. That's it. I've been saying this for years. Too many DJs. Stop. Have a family instead. I'd like to have a family, but I'm really passionate about my DJing. Well, guess what? Your DJing is bullshit and nobody cares. And there's a million of you. And you know what? You may not like hearing this. This might make you sad. It doesn't require any talent. Literally anybody can do it with 10 minutes of practice. You're not special. You're not important. Shut the fuck up. Go start a family, you fucking retard. I'd start a family, but I'm just so passionate about my didgeridoo career. Anybody can do it. Didgeridoo is for people who failed at everything, and so is goddamn DJing. So cut it out and grow up and be a man and start a fucking family. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. Brian Watson, how you doing? There was a leader in the Middle East, Arab, I think, couldn't believe West letting Palestine into the West. It was bad to do it. Well, there's a reason why. Egypt said no, and Jordan said no, and Lebanon said no, and Syria said no, and all of the neighbors said no, because they had taken in refugees in the past, and those refugees immediately fomented civil wars and did not appreciate. And it's a very similar attitude to what we're seeing in Canada. Apparently, they don't appreciate your generosity. And they just want to destroy whatever new country they get to. So, no. Radio Streamer says, Radio Baloney, here is a plush didgeridoo. Where did it touch you? It touched me on my boner. And now I hate didgeridoos. Radio Streamer says, the hate was real. It certainly was. Nothing I hate more than DJs and didgeridoos. That is just people who failed at everything else in life. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that, but it's just true. Let's see. Ottawa James says that Richie is the Newfie version of Douglas Murray. What? Why would you say that to me? I once worked with a Newfie, and he wore those, it was construction, and he wore those, the shirts with those sleeves, but they had like the really big, like, armholes. You know those I'm talking about. Tank tops with the really big armholes. Very hairy pits, and was smelly, and was constantly just sweating booze. And he would brag about how he lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 15 people and drank, I think, 24 beers a day. That's the only Newfie I've ever known. So I just assumed they were all like that. I think I'm safe in assuming that, aren't I? And he told me that he'd threatened to put somebody's eye out with a screwdriver because they made a Newfie joke. So I really hope he doesn't hear this. Chef Rico says, Richie, why can't you sound like Douglas Murray? Because I'm not. There's only one Douglas Murray, and there's only one Radio Baloney. All right. What else we got going on here? Let's see. Rosie says, well, this is interesting. I once proved birth rates are determined by the local college football team's success or failure. Has nothing to do with DJs. I proved it. Well, I think DJs had a little something to do with it. Let's see. Chef Rico says, Richie, what is your stance on throat singing? It should be banned, as well as didgeridoos and DJing. All three of them can go to hell. What have they ever done for Western civilization? Nothing. They've just hurt it. They hurt people. Throat singers, didgeridoo players, DJs, they hurt people. They do nothing else. They don't even care about the wreckage they leave in their wake. I'll tell you what connects DJs and didgeridoo: drugs, hard drugs. Is that helping the world? Is that helping Western civilization? Hell no. I wouldn't even want to know what the hell kind of crap that throat singers are on to be doing throat singing. No thanks. Get them out. Mavada asks, Richie, can you make records go backwards? I could if I wanted to, but I choose not to. That's a personal choice I make. Brian Watson says they are destroying Montreal and Toronto and big cities all over the world. Yeah, they don't want to assimilate is the problem that we see now, right? At least there's a large portion of them that don't. And it is just about dominance at this point and just rubbing it in our noses, right? Rubbing our tolerance in our noses. I don't know what James says. You sound newfie. You say that again, I'm going to put a screwdriver in your eye. Let's see. Rosie says, Richie, you said you wear pants for streaming. No, I didn't. I said I wear shorts. I wear shorts. We're not going we're not talking about triangles here. Don't get me started on that. Let's see. Let's see. Spambot says, I have loads of hilarious Newfie stories from the days of construction shenanigans. See, I told you guys, Spambot's backing me up on this. Thank you, Spambot. All right. Rosie says, ooh, what JJ said, make records go backwards and tell us what they say. They tell you to worship Satan. Right there. You don't need to do it. All right. I'm going to just skip to the end here. We're 3 hours and 12 minutes in. Wow. I'm done with the DJs, guys. I'm not going in. I'm not doing any more on that. Okay. Including Fatboy Slim. He was much better with the House Martins. Look up the House Martins. You'll enjoy the House Martins more, even though they were commies. But still pretty good, though. All right. Well, I think that's it. We've done a good 3 hours, 13 minutes tonight, people. That was actually pretty fun. That's why we went so long for a Sunday night. But we got to save up a little bit for tomorrow. And because we'll try and do a couple of hours of premium only streaming tomorrow. And then we've got Tuesday as well before I get a 2-night break. So, yeah, I think I think we're doing pretty good. Now, everybody who's not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe immediately. It's extremely imperative that you do that. I shouldn't even need to explain it to you, should I? I mean, come on, people. Let's go. What's going on with Pickaxe, though? They have an ad here. Let's check it out. All right, people. Just a quick pause to tell you about Pickaxe. The creator and user first platform built for people, not algorithms. That's right, because algorithms aren't even people. You are. You know what big tech is up to. Data mining, bot-driven feeds, black box AI, deciding who sees your work. I hate it when they do that. Usually it's purple-haired commies, too. Instead, Pickaxe hands you an algorithm-free chronological feed with native Rumble playback, auto-publishing of your live streams. I like the sounds of that. Free blue check verification, nice, and full monetization control. Your voice, your rules. Best of all, the web version is live right now. And their iOS and Android apps drop next month. I mean, commies can go on it, but if they did, they'd probably just end up crying because it would be too awesome for them. On Pickaxe, your Rumble videos play seamlessly right in your feed as if they were built into the platform. No embeds, no communist materials, no workarounds, just smooth native playback, which is the best kind, people. Smooth native playback. That's what we love. Even better, in beta now, creators can connect their Rumble channel to Pickaxe to automatically, which is the best way, post live streams and videos, so your followers never miss a moment. It makes them sad to miss a moment. You can also write full articles directly on Pickaxe today. And later this year, you'll be able to blast them out as email newsletters with one click and build up your own email list for direct audience access, which is the best kind, direct audience access. Monetize on your terms through paywalls, revenue sharing, or affiliate ads that auto-insert promo codes and tracking links. It's this good, people. And because bots shouldn't steal the spotlight, Pickaxe hands you a free blue check so everyone knows it's really you, even the commies. Pickaxe is building tech that builds up humanity. Algorithm-free, noise-free, human first. Head to pickaxe.com. That's pickaxe.com. That's pickaxe.com. Go ahead and sign up and take your platform to the next level. Real voices deserve a real home. Everybody knows that. Ah, there we go. We got that last one in. We got that last ad read in. Radio Streamer says 8.2 out of 10 needs more commie hate. I beg to differ. There was plenty of commie hate in that ad read, Radio Streamer. Plenty. In fact, I made sure I put extra commie hate in that one, so I don't even know what you're talking about. That 8.2 out of 10 is fucking bullshit. Bullshit. I don't know what James says. LOL, damn commie. See, he got it. He's on the trolley. Nevada says, keep that commie hate flowing. I know you guys love it. Rosie says, no head exploding. Hear him. Excellent ad read. Oh, wait, this might be his last ad read. Oh, well, no erasing allowed in the chat. Well, that's the way it is. That is the last ad read. We're going to be going home shortly. We're all going to be heading home. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Radio Streamer says, oh, fine, 9.8 out of 10. Acceptable levels of wine. What? Yeah, push me and push me and push me. One day I'm going to snap. All right, that's enough. Chef Rico says, Radio, that's a little low, 8.6 at least. Damn you to hell. Radio, Rosie says, ad review, excellent growth, 10 out of 10. Well, that's almost the most you can get out of 10. So thank you, Rosie. I still got Rosie on my side. All right. That's it. That's it, people. That's it. That's the night over. Anybody watching on YouTube now or later on the replay, I have a second channel. It's brand new. It's 4 or 5 days old. It's just starting out. It's a brand new baby channel. I'm going to be putting a ton of stuff from the normal channel, from the original channel, just Radio Baloney, is going to be going on this channel. So the live stream's still on the original, the main channel, and all the Canadian stuff on there. And the world stuff and the meme reviews and all that, that's going to go, most of it's going to go onto the new Radio Baloney news channel. Please subscribe. Please help me. It's really depressing at the beginning when there's right now, 20 subscribers. Let's build that up, people. Let's build it together. It takes a village or something, right? Let's build this up. Go subscribe to that channel. That way you won't miss all of the awesome content. There's going to be even more content now than there was before, but it'll be split between the original channel and now this new one that you're looking at right now on the screen, which you must, everybody demands it. You must subscribe to it and go and like all the videos and listen to them and watch them and stuff and have a great time. And also don't forget to send me your money and also like the stream and then follow the channels and become channel members and all of that. I think I covered everything there. Now, that said, Rosie says, we are your 20 subscribers. We are not depressing. We are awesome. No, I know you are. But we need to build it up more. Not everybody's going to come and hang out with us every stream. That's the thing. We need more. Some people just want to watch the videos. They don't want to watch the live streams, right? I mean, I got, what is it, like 5,900 or something followers on Rumble, but it's not that many that actually watches the streams, obviously. So you get my point. Anyway, it's crucial that everybody subscribe to the new channel. Everybody do it immediately. And get more of this. And I want to thank everybody who watched the stream tonight and hung around for the 3 hours and 20 minutes of this beautiful stream. I want to thank everybody, though, especially who's in the chat. I want to thank out especially Trudeau Survivor for sending the $5 rant that really appeals to my grade. Thank you very much. You know what you're doing. And I want to thank everybody who in the chat because you guys are what makes it fun. You make me laugh every single time, and it's genuine. And it would be me ranting to a cold and different universe, which would not be fun. But it's you guys are here, so it makes it fun. So I guess, yeah. So just keep doing that. We're back tomorrow for the premium stream on Rumble. It'll only be on Rumble and locals. So join us for that, 6 o'clock Pacific time, 9 o'clock Eastern time. And yeah, we're going to have fun. It's going to be like a hangout, lots of audience participation. You guys can make requests of things to check out and fact checks and all kinds of stuff. That's what we're doing. And stuff not appropriate for the other streams. Don't forget about that. We'll see you all tomorrow.